This is going to be the complete guide of how to set up and use Autopilot home services for your business. We are going to literally cover everything from signing up to closing your account. What's up, guys? My name's Andrew, and I built a $1 million junk removal business, sold it, and now I'm building the software that I wish I had back then. Let's dive in. Today, I am going to be your teacher and your instructor for the infamous one and only Autopilot home services, field service management, and customer relationship management software. FSM and CRM. Yeah, this is going to be a very long video, and I will definitely break this up into sections so you can check out the chapter titles down below. There is a lot to this system. For those of you who stumbled upon this video and maybe you don't know much, let me just break it down before we dive into the complete guide of this system and how to use it effectively. What is Autopilot? Autopilot is a field service management software. So this is what you want to use to run your business. I mean, there's so many benefits to a field service management software. Scheduling and dispatching, the online booking system, we have marketing tools built. We have a lot of CRM tools built into customer relationship management tools for, storing your customers, talking to your customers, two-way texting with them, sending out automated SMS notifications, marketing tools, email campaigns, text campaigns, custom marketing sequence campaigns that you can build that texts and emails for however long you want, in perpetuity if you wanted. We have Quickbooks integration, Zapier integration, Stripe integration, Google Ads integration, and so many more features that makes it much easier to run your business and so that you can scale. Using an FSM is very important, and there's a lot of things that separate us from the big guys like Jobber and House Call Pro and us. The biggest one, guys, that I'm just going to say is our price. You're going to get way more value if you value what we put, like the phone system, the call tracking, Google Ads integration, the marketing tools with SMS blasts and email blasts, all these things that I took from like the most expensive pieces from other platforms and put it into one that would normally cost $400, $500 a month. If you wanted these little things that I handpicked and put into our platform, would cost an astronomical amount of money. We put into a package of $49 a month. That is our number one differentiator that separates us from them. And we have a lot more stuff coming too. So without further ado, let's just kind of dive in to, because this is a setup video and how to use it, not a why. So if you just go to autopilotapp.io right there, so autopilotapp.io, you could literally just click sign up right here, right? And it'll take you to the sign up page. You can also search Autopilot CRM or Autopilot Home Services in the App Store, and you could download and sign up through the phone as well. Just to make it easier though, since I'm on the computer, I am going to be doing everything, most of everything through the computer. I will, however, when we're going through the app and doing some of the training, we will do training on the phone. In the meantime, the setup and all that initial stuff and just kind of like talking about everything, we will be doing on the computer. So let's talk about the differences between web and mobile. So we have a full website, a full web app. The website will have more of the features, okay? More of the settings, more of the features, because it's just easier to put everything into the web app than it is the mobile app. If you have any experience with Jobber or House Call Pro or any of those mobile apps, you'll always notice you're very limited on the mobile app, more so than the website. You can do way more things on the website, and that's just normal because it's much easier to deploy features on the website than it is a mobile app. However, our mobile app, I believe, is much more capable than their mobile apps. They may have a little more features than us in general because we haven't been around for over a decade. But, like I said, what separates us is we got the most expensive features and packaged them in. But point is, we're very close to having as many features as them. But I digress, going off on a tangent. Keep that in mind. More of the settings, more of the reporting tools, the marketing tools. If you want to do SMS blasts, you need to use the web app. So that is the primary difference, is more of the reporting and settings and marketing tools will be on the web app. But when you're out in the field, the mobile app is still very capable. That is the overview, the major differences of like web and mobile. And we're going to go deeper into that as we go through this. Why don't we start with the first thing, just signing up, okay? So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a new account, okay? And you want to use your real information because you know your phone number, this is how we contact you. This is where you get notifications when customers reach out to you. You'll get notifications on your phone, your email address. So it's very important to use your real information. I am going to be making a demo account. All right, so you definitely want to put your real business. Now, if you don't have an address, you don't have a physical location, it's fine. Put your house address. You need to have an address. Don't worry, you don't need to show your address on invoices. You can hide it, but you do need to put an actual address to continue, okay? So just put your home address if that's where you're working out of for now. This has no correlation to your Google business profile, so don't worry. Okay. Do you want our system to send automated text messages to customers and notify them of job status updates? You're most likely going to want to do that. These will be customizable later. We'll talk about that later. So I'm going to hit yes to this. Would you like us to preload junk removal jobs, lead sources, and Pricebook items? If you run a junk removal business, I suggest you say yes so you can see how I did my Pricebook, and you could edit, change, delete. But if you just want to start from scratch, skip this, okay? I'm going to hit yes because we put all the job types and lead sources in for you. So, you know, it just saves you an extra step. That was the sign up and onboarding process. Very simple. When you log in, you're going to see that we put like a lot of like demo or like sample data so you can just kind of see how it works. You have your dashboard here and you're going to see this big red error. You should see it on your mobile phone too. And just for the sake of demonstration, I want to just show you the mobile app. I'm logged into the same account and you know, we have a different dashboard on the phone than the dashboard on mobile, on web, because you need this dashboard on mobile. But if you go to analytics, you have the same thing. You'll get your breakdown and everything, but you'll see that we don't see the red banner here. By the time you watch this video, the red banner will be on the dashboard. But if you go to messages, I'm going to click the hamburger menu top left. I'm going to go to messages. You'll see that you get that same red error message, okay? The reason why I wanted to show you that is because that red error message is important, okay? So we are now, and you'll see it here under messages. Let's just read this together because now what I want to talk about is A2P 10DLC, a very annoying process, but it is a new law that was passed. Well, it's not new, it was passed like over a year ago now, that every application, whether it's Jobber or us, is required to take in your EIN number, your information, and prove that you're a business so that you can have the ability to text message with your customers. That's just the law. What you want to do is you want to click this, and you have to do this on the website. Even the mobile app will redirect you to tell you to do it on the desktop because it's a process. It's actually not that hard of a process. But what you're going to do is you're going to register here. And you cannot do this until you decide that you're going to commit with our program because, of course, infrastructure costs money to get you set up with the phone system and a phone number. What you would have to do is end your free trial and start paying to do this. So make sure you test everything out in the platform first, and then when you're ready to start a real subscription, you could then apply for A2P. Now, one thing that I want to note about messaging registration, it's very important that you have the original IRS document of when you got your EIN number. And just so you can see what this document is, anytime you register your EIN number with the irs.gov, they give you this PDF file. So you'll get this like document from the IRS that's showing, you get this immediately too. Like getting an EIN number is so simple. If you have this document, great. It makes it much easier. If you don't have it, we could still get you approved, but sometimes they want it. And it's just kind of annoying, but it's very important because it's just how you prove that you're a real business, because we have to match letter for letter, space for space, the business company's name, whether there's a comma in it, whether it says LLC or you left LLC, we have to match it perfectly. And along with your name, exactly how it's on it, and the exact address you used with the IRS, we have to match up. And then if we mess up, they ask for the document. And this is the CP575 form is the one that they want. The second thing that you must realize when you do this is, let me just put a random photo, is they are going to want a website. If your EIN number does not match your website, you're going to have issues. Even if you say, Andrew, I have a DBA, if that DBA is not showing up on the IRS document, it's going to be difficult to get approved. Make sure that the name on the EIN document, like if it says Jedi Junk Removal, you have a Jedi Junk Removal website. It has to match, right? I'm not saying like the domain has to be perfect. It's just common sense. They need to see that the EIN is the same as the business. Let's say you had like a holding company, Solutions Inc., and then you got a DBA later for Jedi junk removal, but it doesn't show on the IRS document. And then they pull up the EIN number and it says Solutions Inc. And then you have Jedi junk removal and you try to explain, I have a DBA. It's gonna be pretty hard unless we can get that DBA proof that you registered a DBA. So long as you have the DBA document or the new updated EIN document that shows the DBA, otherwise just get a new EIN number. It's really simple. And even if you don't use it, it'll just sit. It's not like that big of a deal, but make sure that you're gonna wanna match the name on the EIN document. You're going to want to put CEO in both fields. And it's long as you have the document and the website match, easy peasy. You're going to mark if you're an LLC or if you're an S Corp. You're going to put your phone number, right? And your website. And it's that. And if you have social media, put that too. We do force it, but if you have not set up your social media, just do this. Social media is not required. And that's it. We'll get you approved within 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes sooner if everything's perfect. Your website looks good, the EIN number matches, you might be able to get approved in a week or less. That is how you get A2P approved. Now, you want to do this process immediately after you sign up for Autopilot so that you can benefit from all of the features of A2P 10 DLC. By the way, A2P 10 DLC stands for Application to Phone 10-digit long code. You're using an application to a phone number, and 10-digit long code is the 10-digit phone number. And this is what gives you the ability to send out text messages. When you apply, what's really cool is after you have submitted, immediately, we have opened up a temporary portal, like a temporary access account, so that you can actually go create a phone number. You will see the ability to create a phone number, and that phone number will work. You will be able to make and receive phone calls. You will also be able to receive text messages. That's the really cool thing, is that almost everything will work. Just sending out text messages will not work until you are A2P approved. You'll get text messages, like if people see your phone number and they text it, your new number that you register, you will receive those text messages. Just when you try to send out a text message, it will not work until this says approved, okay? This will actually disappear. That's how you know you're approved. And when it's pending, it'll turn yellow. I just don't feel like I don't want to send a real, because it actually will send out. Another reason why A2P is so important is under settings, where you go to SMS notifications. We have all of these custom SMS notifications, job reminders that they'll get, job scheduled, job updated, on my way, and the most important one, job completed. You'll see, look, if I try to edit it, please acquire a phone number before customizing notifications. And you can't do that until you create a phone number, until your A2P 10 DLC is approved. You could then customize these. And the good old job completed text, that's where you want to put the ask for a review link. So they'll still get these standard notifications from an 800 number, an Autopilot 800 number, but it'll be from your new custom number once you're approved and you create the phone number. Register for A2P and register a phone number. If you have any questions, please always just shoot a comment and use the chat bubble, right? This chat bubble is how you get a hold of us. That is A2P 10 DLC. So now let's talk about the initial setup you're gonna wanna do on the computer. You're not gonna be able to do the initial setup on the mobile app. That goes for any platform. All of the setup has to be done on the computer. There's a lot to set up. So the first thing you want to set up is what we just discussed. Getting A2P done, getting approved, and then customizing your text message notifications, okay? That is the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do is I want you guys to go to your price book. You're going to go to your price book over here. And your price book is your list of items that you sell repeatedly, to make it easy for you to send out estimates and invoices. Now, of course, you're going to get a lot of estimates you send out that are going to be customized, and you're going to have to make custom items, and that you'll do that absolutely fine. You'll do that on the spot. For the sake of making your life simple, the items you're constantly using over and over again, you want to put in your price book, and also you'll be able to track what you sell the most of. You'll see that I have this broken down into a few categories. We have junk removal, dumpster rentals, overages, fees, and demolition. So you'll have all these same things preloaded because I preloaded them for you, and it's your job to go through, edit, and delete, right? Now you can go through the price book and you can just look at everything. I'm gonna change this to 100 items. So you'll see I put a couple example demo jobs, like a hot tub. It'll start at $450, and you can of course change the price as you're adding them on the phone. So what you wanna do is go through this and create the items that you sell. If you like what I've done, keep it and just change the prices. We'll go through creating a job later so that you can see how we add the items and sending off invoices. We'll go through all of that later, but it is very important you come up with your price book items that you sell. And you'll see, I actually put my OG Jedi junk removal prices, what I charged for a full load. I put my Ventura County prices because those were much cheaper than my LA prices. My LA prices was $11.95 for a full load. So you'll see that I had a half truck, a third, a sixth, an eighth, 2/3, 3/4, 3/8. Yes, this is how I did it. I had 12 price points. And you'll see that they're all under the category junk removal. You'll see that I have the categories overages, heavyweight overages. And if you click the pencil, let's see how we do this. I charge extremely heavy items that take up cubic yards and require extra effort, $50 per quarter. So it's 50 per quarter. This is what I truly charged, right? Let's just say it was a full load of construction debris and it was very heavy. I would literally add 4 of these items because there's 4 quarters. Now, if they only used up a quarter of it was heavy, I would just add 1 of those items. So we'll go over this later, but that is how I did it in my junk removal business. And this is how I charged. You can change it to your heart's content. You can add the category dumpsters, but I don't think I actually added any dumpsters in here. You want to go through and set this up, okay? The first thing that you want to do is set up the SMS notifications, which we covered, right? And to give you an example, now that we're into a real account, you can see that the Google review link is here. You're going to put your Google review link. You can use on Autopilot tools, we have a Google review link generator to get your review link if you don't know how to do it. Like you can just, if you look for Jedi junk removal, generate review link, bada boom, bada bang. You can get the better way to do it, guys, is to, let me actually just make sure this works before I, okay, cool. Yeah, it works. The real way to get your review link is to just go to your own Google business profile, right? And since you own your own location, you'll see right here, view profile, and we will go to ask for reviews, and you will copy this link, and that is how you will put that link into here, right? Bada boom, bada bang. We have got approved from A2P10 DLC. We have customized our SMS notifications, but more importantly, you have to register a phone number first. So what you're going to do is you're going to go get a new phone number. You're going to get your one free local phone number. You're going to call it main line or primary line. You're going to put in your area code wherever you're at, 323, and then you're going to pick a phone number. You're going to enable your whisper message. You're going to enable call recording, and you're going to forward it. Actually, I recommend doing Ring and Autopilot using VoIP because there's way more features. So what you'll do is you'll set up VoIP, and let's select a phone number. Cool. VoIP. Which employees are going to ring. You're going to ring all of your employees that you want it to ring so that their phone rings. And then when you register, you're going to select a voicemail. If it doesn't let you create the voicemail here or select one, or if you can't create a phone number, I'll show you where to do that next. You're going to create this phone number. I prefer VoIP, and I'll show you why. Because when you go back to your phone settings, you're going to select your default number. It should already be selected. And when you go to your phone number and you look at your settings, let's go to this one right here. You'll see if you have it set to VoIP, you get all of these other benefits. Missed call SMS auto reply. So if you miss the call, it'll send an auto text. You get call recording. You get no answer call forwarding, so it can forward to somebody else after a certain amount of rings or a certain amount of time. And you could specify which employees you want it to ring. So I prefer using VoIP because there's more benefits to VoIP. So definitely set up your phone number to ring your Autopilot phone. Now, to set a custom voicemail, you actually have to create the voicemail on your phone. By the time this video comes out, you'll be able to do it on the computer probably, but let's just go to my phone. If at any point you guys need help, we offer free onboarding where I help you. And we have tons of training videos. I can take phone calls. We can do live demos, everything to get you guys rocking and rolling. Please check the video description. And if you guys are getting any value from this, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. All right, guys, you're going to hit the hamburger menu. Up here, hamburger menu. And then we're going to scroll down to settings. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to look for phone settings. Okay. Now you're going to see that we can create voicemails. You're going to create your voicemail like so. Bada boom, and hit start recording. Okay. That's how you create a voicemail. And that's it. Once your voicemail is created, you could then go on here on your website and select your voicemail. it will pop up right here. Bada boom, bada bang. And you will be able to choose your voicemail and set up your phone number. So now we have set up the phone number with the SMS so that it's the default number. So you can receive phone calls, make phone calls, and you got all these cool features set up. We have now set up your SMS notifications. We have now set up your price book. Now that we have that done, let's go to company settings. You want to put your company logo that you want to show up on the invoice. This is also going to be your primary color for the invoice, and I'll show you. So pick your color like so. This is going to be the address if you want an address to show up on the invoice. Like, you look professional because you have your own address. If you don't want your home address showing up, don't worry. I'll show you how to hide the home address, but you need to have an address for our system to work. This is all like Jedi junk removal. This will show up on the invoice. Just this company description will not show up on the invoice, but we'll use this eventually somewhere. So just put your company description. This terms of service will show up on the invoice. There's a link, like when they click it on the PDF, it'll open up a website. So definitely use ChatGPT to have a standard terms of service that's on that invoice. So set all of this up as well. Make sure you set your time zone. It's very important that you set the correct time zone so that if you're traveling or you have VAs in a different country or somebody in a different state, or like I said, you're traveling in a different state, that you don't book on that time zone, you book on your time zone. So this will always stay your company's hours, location, time zone, so that even if you have a customer that's in New York trying to book for their cousin in California, it shows up correctly. So the time zone is very important that you set this. Set your profile photo, which you can do in profile settings here. Set all of this up. Now let's go to invoice settings. Here's where you get to choose what you want to show on the invoice. I think you should have all of it, but it's up to you. You do not need to collect signatures. If you do not want to collect signatures, you can keep these on by default and just let your customers know, like, hey, you don't need to sign, or have them sign. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to hit save on the, oh, by the way, hit the save button on everything. So that is that. Let's set our tip settings. Some people are comfortable with tips. Some people are not. Like 15, 20, 25, and set the default to 25. It's totally up to you. This shows up on the invoice and it'll show up on the phone, okay, when you're collecting payment. Do this for your employees. If you're on the truck and you're a little nervous about it and you don't like the feeling of it, that's up to you. You can turn this off if you don't want tips at all. I strongly do not suggest that. Tax rates. So let's talk about tax rates. You're not supposed to charge taxes on services except for some states. It's very few states that you charge taxes on services. So what you can do, if you do want to charge tax, you can make a custom thing, a custom Los Angeles tax, and put 9%, 10%. And then if you want to charge credit card fees too, merge them into one, because you can't have multiple taxes. But what most people like to do is add a processing fee, the credit card fee. Now, I don't encourage you to do this, but I wanted to show you that you can set up a separate processing fee for 2.9%, 3%, 3.5%, 2%, whatever you want to charge. If you're using our payment system, credit card fees are 2.9%. Unfortunately, that is what it costs. We don't have any control over that. I like to have a custom one called no tax discount. It'll be by default, it'll be no taxes, but I like to show the customer that they're getting a discount, even though we weren't going to charge them taxes anyways. Set up your tax rates, okay? Job settings. This is the next one we want to go over. I like default job duration to be 1 hour. This is the block of time you estimate it's going to take on your calendar, and you can always adjust it after the job is done. And then I worked with 2-hour arrival windows. Anytime I got a phone call, Jedi junk removal, we have a window open from 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, so on. We did 2-hour windows. You might be in a different state where you don't need 2-hour windows. You can do 1-hour windows. You can do no window. But the arrival window time is important because when they get the text message saying they'll arrive between 8 and 10, 8 and 9. So it's very important to have this arrival window set. Now, here's where you want to configure your lead sources. These are the lead sources that I give you by default that I believe. If there's something missing in here, add it or fix it. So you'll see Thumbtack is paid. Unknown is unknown. Like, this is just going to be like, if you can't ever track down the lead, it just goes under unknown, right? Website is organic. So you might have, let's see, what's something that I'm missing here? I got yard signs. Okay, let's just add business walk-ins, right? Let's just say, you track this. I mean, technically this is organic, right? I mean, you could say it's paid because it's caught, but not really. So you would just say this is organic because over time they're going to use you and eventually call you. So you can add business walk-ins. And now you have this lead source that you can track. You can literally track anything. If you do a special promo flyer that you want to track specifically, or check Sammy, go load up, get Dimension, all those lead aggregators, whatever. And by the way, we by default track repeats. You can still mark the lead source repeat, but we track them. You don't need to worry about that. Of course, job types. Now this is where this is up to you. You could just track by junk removal and demolition. If you want to break it down by single items and yard cleanouts and attic cleanouts and garage cleanouts, if you want to track your job types by that way, you can. I like the idea of when you first start a junk removal company, you kind of are all over the place. Like you might do some odd jobs, you might do moving and labor only, you might be doing demo, you might be doing junk removal. Some jobs might be junk and demo, and I'm going to show you where this matters. But you want to kind of configure everything how you want to track everything in the system. All right, so now when you go to the dashboard, when you guys start adding jobs and stuff, like we'll go over that later, of course, but you'll see, oh, we had a repeat customer today, because you can today, yesterday, this week, you can have all this data however you want. Your estimates, your close rate, your booking rate, your payments due, average job site, jobs completed, collected payments, sales. But then you get to see the magic. Not only will you have these really cool, like the booking rate and close rate is if you're using our phone system, right? Very powerful. But more importantly, you'll see your jobs by type. This is how you decide to break down your jobs. So you'll see how much is demo, how much is clean out. Okay, this was a door hanger. We'll see that 50% or 100% of our jobs are coming from door hangers or yard signs. So it's very important that you track your stuff, guys. So that is what you need to do to be prepared from day one. So once you cover the initial setup, you should be good to go. You'll see that we didn't cover the review setup. We didn't cover the online booking setup. There's a whole bunch of integrations that we didn't go through yet. So we're going to go through all of that later, but that's the initial setup before you even start doing anything. If at any point you guys need help, we offer free onboarding where I help you. And we have tons of training videos. I can take phone calls. We can do live demos, everything to get you guys rocking and rolling. Please check the video description. And if you guys are getting any value from this, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. We kind of talked about the overview, web versus mobile, but I think it's kind of important to show you guys just at a quick glance the differences of web versus mobile. The big difference that you guys are going to see with web versus mobile is, let me put me over here, is look over on the side menu. You're not going to have access to a lot of the settings, okay? Settings, reports. You are not going to have access to the marketing tools. You're not going to be able to import clients and export clients and yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of just fine details that you're not going to be able to do. You can get way more granular with the web app, okay? You're not going to have all the features that you can do. You're not going to be able to sort by how many pages. You're not going to be able to filter by tag. You know what I mean? There's a lot more things that you can do on the web app that you can't do on the mobile app. And that's just how it is for every platform. It's a much easier to make a more sophisticated system on a web app. So if you need more power in your hands, power at your fingertips, you're going to want to jump onto the web app. But out on the field, we still have an incredible mobile app that I still think is more powerful than our competitors. Now looking at the mobile app, I want to show you guys real quick. We have the plus button down here. You can create all these events, jobs, clients, leads, invoices, estimates, a message, a phone call. In the hamburger menu up here, you have almost all of the same things. You're not going to have the marketing tools. You're going to have your schedule, of course, your week view, your day view, your list view. You can see everything here. You can create jobs. It's still a very powerful mobile app. You even have a map, which other platforms do not have. We show you your route for all your jobs. Obviously, we only have one job right now, but some really cool stuff. So you can do a lot of stuff on the mobile app. So when you're out in the field, your technicians can schedule jobs, they can send out the invoices, they can communicate with the clients, they can make phone calls, they can still do everything that's needed to be done with the mobile app. But I just wanted to show you the big difference between web versus mobile is you are going to have more power and flexibility with the web app. However, like I said, the web app has more power. So just remember, use the mobile app throughout the day, but when you get home, definitely check out the web app. There is so much power in the web app, and we're going to dive very deep. So that is web versus mobile. We've gone through signing up and onboarding. We've gone through the initial setup. We've talked about web versus mobile. It is now time to go through the entire platform. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the web app because I want you to see the full power. And then if you know how to use the entire website, you'll actually know, like when you go to the mobile phone, you'll be like, oh, okay, I can do most of all this, but if I want to do this feature, it's on the website. So I think it's probably more beneficial to you for us to go through the web app first, starting with the dashboard. So this is your dashboard, guys. This is where you see your stats, your KPIs at a glance. If you just read each of these stats, you'll kind of get the idea. And we've covered this as well too. You'll see your booking rate and your close rate. This is when you start using our phone system. This is why I recommend you use our phone system. You'll see how good you are at closing and booking with your phone calls. Definitely try to route everything to our phone system. Every phone call should come through us. If you want the full benefit, use our phone system. You'll see your sales, your average job size, repeat customers, payments that are due. There is so much power to this dashboard that you just don't get anywhere else. You'll see your breakdown of jobs by type, jobs by lead source, which phone numbers are getting the most calls, and of course, your sales, how much money you're making from each one. Like, just because you're getting most of your jobs from door hangers doesn't mean that it's the most valuable. You might only have made $1,000 from door hangers, but you are crushing it with yard signs. Who knows? Or, so you'll get to see where most of your sales are generated from too. And this is a really cool one. If you actually track each job, you're going to see, are you getting more organic or more paid? So really try to track where your jobs are coming from. And that's where tracking numbers come in, okay? So obviously, if Sally comes from Becky, you're gonna know that was a referral. But when you're doing EDDM or flyers and business cards and yard signs and door hangers, use tracking numbers, guys, so that you know if it's paid or organic and where the calls are coming from. See you'll see how many phone calls are getting you the most business. So really set that up so that you can see everything and know everything. And then of course down here, this is if you connect your Google Ads account. So this will actually not show up if you do not have your Google Ads connected. So if you're not running Google Ads, this is not important. So that is the dashboard. Let's jump into the schedule. Here is your schedule. You have your employee view. If you have multiple employees, you can see their jobs, which employees have which jobs. You have your day view, you have your week view, and your month view. So I prefer week view because I like seeing my jobs throughout the week. This is just me personally. This is how I rocked my business when I ran my business with a house called Pro and Workies. It's just very easy to see your jobs and create jobs. So if we got another job right here or an event we wanted to put, I'll just create a job. Bada boom, bada bang. It's that simple. I love the schedule view. There's really not too much to say about schedule view, except for you can drag and drop your jobs. You can move them like so. And then, are you sure you want to update the schedule? Yes. And then you could just, maybe it only took you 1 hour like that. You can drag it, boom. You can drag and drop them. You can create new ones. Jobs and events. You also have a global button up here that lets you do anything and everything. And you have the views, and you could cycle through the weeks, cycle through the days. If you're all the way over here, you can hit today to go back. And just so you know, you can scroll up and down inside of here. Some people don't realize that. If you don't have a mouse like this or a scroll wheel, which you should absolutely have a scroll wheel or a trackpad, and that really covers the schedule. You can click on it to get more details. You can message them. You can click this thing right here to create an invoice from this job. You can go to the job details. You can go to the client's details. This is a quick edit, but if you want to really edit the job, you can go to your job details and you can, really fine tune the job details, all that stuff, right? So that's schedule. So now let's go to the map, which is another one of my favorite features. Now, in order to properly show you the map, I added a second job with a secondary address. So we have Venice Boulevard here, and we have Figueroa here. The reason I did that is because I want to show you the map next. I love the map, and you can use the map on the mobile app as well. What I want to show you, what makes the map so cool, is if you have two crews. So let's just do a demonstration of that right now. I'm going to go back to the schedule. In order to show you this, let's do a secondary crew, like another employee. Let's just say we have another job, and we want to do a different address this time. So let's create a new client. We'll do Joe Bob, and we'll just do joe@bob.com for the email, because we're just trying to demonstrate this really quick. What we're going to do is we're going to do a new employee. So this would be like, we have truck 1 running and truck 2 running. Let's do a different address. Let's just do Marina Del Rey. Sure, that's fine. And let's just create this job really quick. Okay, cool. So we got Joe Bob. And then we're also going to assign another job here to the same employee, but this will be John Doe. So we'll do John at Dodo. I'm doing Dodo because I might have put Doe in there already. And we're going to assign V as well. Okay. And we're going to do another address. We're going to do 678, sure, Venice. And we're going to create this job as well. Now, what I really like about the map is if you have two crews running, purple means open job, right? That's what you can actually change the colors of this as well if you wanted to. If you wanted this to be, instead of by job status, we can change it to employees. So if we go back to the calendar, now it's the color of the employee. And you can change employee colors as well. So you can see now that Joe Bob, we've assigned to V, and then we got 2 jobs for Andrew. So when I go to the map now, you'll see that pink is the sign color for V. She has job 1 starts here, job 2 goes here. So you can see her route. Pretty soon, we're gonna have GPS tracking. You'll be able to see their live location of your employees on the map, and you'll also see your dumpsters and all that stuff. A lot of cool stuff is coming. And then you'll see Andrew's route. His first job is here, and you see it pops up, the job, if you want to look at the job really quick. And his second job is over here at Figueroa Street. That is one of my favorite features of the map, is when you start scaling and growing and having multiple jobs and multiple crews, this becomes very, very useful just to kind of see where your crew is going to be going throughout the day. So I love this feature so much. You can also filter by which employees' routes you see. So if you just want to see Andrew's routes, you just want to see V's routes. So pretty cool stuff, right? That is the map. Now let's start working our way down the operations side of the menu, jobs, okay? Your jobs obviously show up on the map in the schedule, right? All that stuff. But this is where you see a list of all of your jobs, right? This is how you can import your jobs. If you're coming from Jobber or House Call Pro, you can import all your jobs data. What I really like about the jobs list is you can kind of just have a high level overview of everything, of jobs open, on my way, completed. This will be everything in your system for the entirety of the life of your company, right? So you'll see how many open jobs, how many on my way, in progress, completed, and canceled. You can filter by tags. So if you do certain tags, let's put a tag on a job. Let's go to this job here, and let's just say that you could literally like say anything. I used a skid steer, whatever you feel is important to you. You can tag jobs by the difficulty, the items, anything that you think is relevant to the job. You can also put client tags. So remember, because you're going to be able to do custom reports based on tags. Let's go back to the jobs list and filter by skid steer. So now you can see all the jobs that have skid steer, which I think is really cool that you can filter jobs by tags. You can see open, on my way. Let's actually remove that tag. Open, on my way, in progress, completed. Obviously, I don't have many jobs in this system because this is a demo account. And then you have the good old create job button up here. As you can see, you can create a job from like anywhere, right? Create a job from here, create a job from here, create it on the schedule, which is where normally I do it. So you can search by the job number itself, which is you're always going to reference by job ID, but you can also search by literally the customer's name. So you can pull up all of the names. Like, look, I can do Andrew Zap exactly if I wanted to get an exact customer. So pretty cool stuff. Another important, you can delete your jobs. Of course, it'll like confirm that you want to delete, but also what you guys don't want to miss is you can do this little three dot menu, you can mass delete and mass add tags. Now, why this is important is, let's say you decide that all the jobs you've done with Andrew, you want to mass add a tag that, and this is adding to the job, not the client. So remember that, like, you wouldn't necessarily want to tag the job as a realtor, for example, like if you want to mark Andrew as a realtor. So like, let's just say all the jobs with Andrew was done with truck one. For whatever reason, whatever you want to do, like mass adding tags to the job. So I'm just going to add those tags. So now I will cancel this search. And like, if we go into John Doe, you'll see that no tags. But if we go back to Andrew, this job, if we scroll down, you'll now see that there is a tag, truck one. This is where you get creative on how you want to filter and create reports and what's important to you. You can also do the same thing for clients. I want you to think about how beneficial that's going to be once we get to the marketing tools and the reports tools. Like, there's a lot of things you can do, and we'll demonstrate that later. But that is how you use the jobs page. There's a lot of flexibility here you might not realize you can do. If we had more than 10 results, you can show more than, you can show up to 100 on a page, right? And I'll demonstrate that once we get to clients. Let's go into a job now, okay? So there's a lot to do here. Send completed SMS means that this is when you finish the job, when you mark it completed, they will get the send completed text message, which is in here. So why we have that as an option is because there's some customers you do not want them to ever have the idea of leaving you a review, right? The job completed text. That is why you can turn this off when you mark it completed and I hit save. They will not get the text message. So as you can see, it disappeared when I hit save because there's no sending the completed text message anymore. That is how you protect yourself from getting a bad review. You can do this on the phone as well. Here's where you assign field text, which you normally do when you create the job, but if you mess up, you want to add new field text, you can do that. Private notes are private. They are internal to you and your company only. So usually people put here the notes the customers leave of, the fridge, the stove, and the have to go. Gate code is 1234. Customer will not be there. Please collect payment before leaving, right? These would be like notes that you want to leave for yourself, or definitely like if you have employees and you have important stuff you want to leave notes for. Attachments is really cool because you can do before and after photos. You can add them here, and job photos are always internal. This is for you. If you want them to see the photos, you would send off an invoice with the photos that you want to attach. But for now, these are always going to be internal to your company. So when you add a photo, this is for you, and you want to have before and after photos internally for you in case there's a dispute that ever comes up. So I recommend taking before and after photos. And if it's a giant hoarder house, get photos of every room before and then after 1 year down the road. Maybe they try to do a chargeback or something and try to like steal money back from you, and you have all the evidence of the notes and the scheduled time and the job completed, the attachments and all that stuff. And especially if you collect their signature, definitely get the signature. What's really cool about our system is we let you add PDFs as well. Here's what I like to tell people if they need to like do custom contracts or something, is you can ChatGPT a custom contract, have them sign it, and then upload it to the job so that you always have this on file. Not only can they sign the invoice, but you can store PDFs in our system for that job if you need to. So you can also upload photos and videos. You can record videos on your phone, like if you want to do that, and upload it to the platform as well. So pretty cool stuff. If you forget to mark your lead source, please mark the lead source. Where did this come from? Craigslist. What's the job type? It is a junk removal job, and you want to hit save, okay? Very important. Where a lot of people get confused is items and payments. They're like, what is the items and what is the payments? How does that work? So when you're charging a customer, like you're going to invoice them, think about the items as what's going to be on the invoice, what you're billing them for, the shopping cart, So in this case, we did a full truckload. Okay, I'm going to add the item. And taxable. Let's talk about taxable. When we talked about tax rates in the initial setup, if you want to be able to charge that processing fee, or you do want to charge sales tax because that's what you do in your company, you are going to want to put taxable. So I'm going to leave this to yes to demonstrate. So let's say we're charging a processing fee. I want to show you how that works. If you do not have taxable, it will not work. Let's say you want to just charge processing fees to cover the credit card fees. You can switch to processing fee, bada boom, bada bing. There you go. That easy. Now we hit save. We have now billed them for this truckload, okay? And let's say we want to add some more stuff, like there was feces in here, okay? Taxable, yes. We're going to charge the processing fee. So we change it to taxable. Now you'll see that we are charging the 2.9%. And if you wanted to charge sales tax and the processing fee, remember we created that custom tax called tax plus processing, so 13%. So you can do that as well. And then hit save. Now, we are charging them for these items, right? And if they want to get an invoice, I'll explain that later. You can create an invoice from the job and send off the invoice. That is how you bill them for what you're charging them for. That is how you add the items. Now it's time to collect payment. So let's go to the dashboard. So I want to show you something. You see how it says $1,687.35, but we're owed this much? The reason why is because we have not added a payment. It's still a sale. You just haven't collected the money. Like, you did the work. The job is completed. They just haven't paid. So that's why it still goes into your sales. It's just like the money hasn't been collected. You've only collected $450 today, but you haven't collected the rest that's owed to you. So let's go get the rest of our money. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to that customer and they're going to pay you. Now, just for the sake of making this simple on this demonstration, let's just say they paid the full amount with cash. If they tipped you in cash too, you can add the tip so you can track the tip, which is really cool. I'll actually do that so you can see how it works. And then you can send a receipt. It'll go to their email because we have their email on file. But just for the sake of demonstration, we're not going to do that. We're going to hit add payment. So now we have collected the $1,237.35 payment that they owed us. They also tipped $100, so it was actually technically $1,337.35 was the total. So now if we go to our dashboard, we will now see our average job size, how many new clients, the jobs, how much money we've collected, no money's due. This is just for today. Imagine you did this for like the whole week or the month or last month. You can compare your numbers. Now you'll see we have one demo job and one junk job. This is where things start to get really cool. I love this because you can start seeing where everything is coming from. Very powerful stuff. So now you'll see it's completed and it's paid, the total. You can go into this job, make any changes you need, but this is how you stay organized and log data in your system, guys. It's so important. We will talk about invoices later because you're going to get customers who are going to be like, oh, I want to see the invoice. And I'm just going to show you really quick so that you can see up here. There is a 3-dot menu up here that gives you all of these options to duplicate job, create job, connect it to an invoice, convert it to an estimate, or delete it. Clearly, you see the create invoice. We're going to cover that later when we get to invoices. I just wanted to show you now where it's at. All right, let's talk about importing and exporting jobs into and out of Autopilot. This is very important if you are coming over from a different platform and you want to bring jobs into our system, or maybe you want to take the jobs out of our system, go somewhere else. Maybe you want the data outside of our system so you could do something else with it. You could do your own type of data analysis with the CSV file, put it into ChatGPT or wherever you want to take it. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Let's go to share my screen. Okay, so let's talk about exporting jobs from a different platform and bringing them into our platform. Now, everyone's going to be a little bit different, right? But let's just start with this platform, for example, Workies. All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to export from Workies. It could be Jobber, it could be House Call Pro, whatever. So you're just going to need to find it in your guys's platform to export from. And if you need help, please just contact me, and maybe I'll do one eventually for each platform, but for now, just try to find something similar. So under reports on Workies, you're just gonna hit jobs and you're gonna click here and you're gonna do this year, last year. And if you have more years that you want to export, I think you gotta do 1 year at a time. So for simplicity's sake, we're just gonna do this year. You would just do custom, and I think they only let you do 1 year at a time. But now we just hit export, right? And it just exported a file right there. We see it's called Workies Jobs Export.csv. So now we can go to Autopilot. Now, there is one thing that I want to mention is you want to import the clients first, and I'm going to demonstrate why. because if you don't have the existing clients, it's not going to match the names correctly. We're going to now go import jobs, right? We're going to browse for the file, and you'll see it's right here. I don't think you'll see, yeah, if I hit spacebar, you don't see anything. Okay, so I'm going to just import this file and hit next. And it's from Workies. And you'll see that it attempts to match everything, right? So you'll see that it's trying to match the client name. It's trying to match the external job number. And external job number just means the job number, right? Like we're matching the job number with the job number in our system. It should put 6006 as the job number. There's no tags, but you can match them. The job type, job created, yes. You would probably want to just make it the start date. Client phone, client email, the status, the total amount of the job, the lead source. Okay, so in the job origin. So job origin is, I don't know, new source. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So you can just leave that. So you can skip all this stuff. So lead source in this case is the correct one. Job origin, since I don't know what that is here, we're just gonna mark it none. Now, we're going to import all of this and see what happens, because as I've said, we have not imported the clients first, which is what you should do. Oh, also, if you want to put like from Workies and hit enter so that you know everything, it'll tag every person as from Workies, so you can differentiate from your existing clients if you have any. And knowing that these are imported from Workies, you might just want to know that. So you can put a tag from Workies. Now we're gonna hit next. Boom, finished. Now let's see what happened. So you'll see that the jobs have been imported. Now if we go to clients, you'll see that it did create the clients, that's good. If I go into Jennifer Martinez, you'll see that she had 3 jobs. That's great. Let's see, what jobs did we have? Yeah, so there was 3 jobs with Jennifer, 2 jobs with Andrew, and 2 jobs with Sherry. So if I go into Sherry, you see there's 2 jobs. So everything looks like it imported correctly. So if I go into Jennifer's job, or that's her client, let's go into one of her jobs, you'll see that it says the line item is imported item, the total. You're not gonna get the perfect data that you would have had over here. That's just not how it works. It's not going to be perfect. So if we go into, let's go into one of these jobs, you'll see that the item just says junk removal. So if you're hoping for a one-to-one perfect import, it's not going to be exactly perfect, because it's hard to do a perfect import. But if you wanted it to be perfect, you'd have to go into each one and change this. But I mean, at least you have the job data. Now, why I said it is important to import the clients first is because you'll see there's no address here. So what I'm going to do really quick, guys, just to make this like super simple, is I'm going to just pull up this CSV, right? We're just going to import data. Cool. Dude, I'm like insanely crazy. So you'll see here that there is no information on this client, which, since we have client data, it makes more sense to get all the clients, right? So that is how you import jobs. By the time this video goes up, we will also have an export jobs button up here. You would just click that and it will download the CSV file, and that is how you export jobs. Now, if you want to do this correctly, like I said, I'm going to remind you one last time, and you can go to the timestamp here. You want to import clients first before you import the jobs. So if you want to go to that timestamp and see that first, you would do that step first. I showed you importing jobs without clients first, which is a no-no. Now that I have imported clients, because I was demonstrating that earlier, we have this Jennifer Martinez as an example that I can show you. And if you click on her, she has a phone number, an email, a name, an address, because we imported the clients that has all the client data. So watch what happens when we import the jobs now, because these jobs right here So you'll see when we import these, we only have Jennifer Martinez though. I did not import Sherry and Andrew, okay? So Jennifer is the only existing client. So let's see what happens. So now when we import the jobs, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah, okay, so that one. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna hit other this time just to kind of see if it doesn't auto map. It's still auto mapped, cool. It auto mapped these fields, the Autopilot fields, with the columns in the CSV file. Everything looks good. Start date, phone number, email, status, total amount. Okay, cool. So now we can do from workies again. And now I'm going to hit next. And what it should do is it should not create Jennifer again. It should add the job to the existing Jennifer. I'm gonna hit next, finish. Now, how do we know if this worked? We can see all the jobs imported correctly. There was 3 Jennifer jobs, there was 2 Sherry jobs, and 2 Andrew. That is correct. If you look at the spreadsheet, there was 1, 2, 3 Jennifer jobs, 2 Sherry jobs. If you remember last time, there was no address for any of them. It added the job to the existing Jennifer. So now if we go into Jennifer, she's got an address now, she has all of her information because we imported the clients first. And now you'll see it appended or added the jobs to Jennifer, which is pretty awesome. So now we have all the jobs in our system and you can go through, mark the statuses, whatever you got to do to make sure everything's marked complete. If there's any issues, it's now time for you to go fine tune, but at least you can now import your jobs and your clients into our system, which is pretty freaking awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is how you import and export jobs with Autopilot. Let's move on to clients now, okay? So as we discussed in jobs, a lot of the same things are going to be applicable here. Filter by tags. You can sort by name, email, phone, and date created. So in ascending or descending order. So if you want to sort by the email addresses ascending, you want to sort by the oldest, or descending by the date created or like the date you added them. And of course by the name, that's probably the most common, right? What I really like about the clients list is that, as I showed you in jobs, is you can actually mass add tags. So let's go to 100 people per page. Let's say you wanted to just go through and find all of your realtors, right? Okay, there we go. We can add tags to all of the clients. And we can do realtors, property managers. You can do people that you don't ever want to receive marketing promos. So you could put whether they were rude customers or do not market, like whatever tag that you want to put. So maybe you want to put do not text. So you can mass add tags. And maybe for whatever reason, maybe you just want to add tags to everybody. You can select as many people as you want and then go deselect the ones if that's easier to do. And then you can bulk add tags. You're adding tags to clients now. Why is this beneficial? Custom reporting. You want to pull clients by tag to see how much money they spent, all the realtors. You want to market and send emails and text messages to only realtors. Various reasons. There's multiple things you can do with tags, okay? That is how you do tags. And the difference between clients is a client is a customer that you've actually served. A lead is a potential customer. Why you have them separated by clients and leads is there's benefits in our system that you can do follow-ups with only leads. You can do follow-ups and texts and marketing blasts and sequences with only clients. So you have the power to separate the two. And then eventually, if the lead, you've reached out to them for 6 months, maybe you eventually do a cleanup process where you just start deleting leads that are that are just never going to come through. But you can at least follow up with them for 6 months to a year before you decide to delete them. You can import clients from your old CRM. You could export your clients if you want to take them to go high level and do something different. But that is the clients and leads list page. And of course, you can create a client or lead, right? So we're going to go into a client, Andrew Zap. If you go into a client, you'll see all of their jobs. You'll see all of their invoices, all of the addresses. You'll have all of their information. You can even attach photos and PDFs for the client alone. So if you have a general contract with the client and that's not job specific, upload it here. You have your estimates. You can tag not just where the job came from, but where the client came from. You can put tags and private notes on just the client. Like you might want to just have a general statement. Super cool. Wife is mean, but he's nice. Whatever you put about clients, right? We've all been there. And of course, credit card on file, which is really cool. You can add it, like if you're talking to them on the phone, you can just add the card on file manually, or you can actually send them a card on file request. So now, one thing I do want to show you, let's go into a lead really quick, is when you go into a lead, you can have a lot of information on leads still, but as you can see, you can't have jobs, you can't have credit, you can't have all that stuff, right? Because, I mean, they're just a lead right now. You may have their address, you may have all this information, you may have some files that you want to attach or photos about this lead, because maybe you did go in person, took some photos, but it's not really worth a job yet. What you can do is convert them to a client when it's time. Okay, I know you can't see it. I'm going to fix that by the time this video is uploaded, but you can convert them to a client here and it will make that lead a client. So I just wanted to mention that as well. So guys, that's clients and leads. If at any point you guys need help, we offer free onboarding where I help you. And we have tons of training videos. I can take phone calls. We can do live demos, everything to get you guys rocking and rolling. Please check the video description. And if you guys are getting any value from this, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. What we're going to talk about next is importing and exporting clients into Autopilot and out of Autopilot. So let me just share my screen. What I'm going to do is just like to make this clean, we're just going to delete all of the clients and let's go delete all of the jobs. Cool. So all the jobs have been deleted. Okay, so if you have no clients, guys, you'll see a button right here, right? You'll also see import and export up here, so it's pretty straightforward. I guess the first thing I need to show you guys is exporting clients from your current platform. So in this example, we are going to use Workies, but it would be pretty close to the same in Job or House Call Pro. You just got to go find the export button. So in Workies, you go to the clients page here and you just hit export and it exports all 11,000 or however many results that you guys have. In this case, I'm going to specifically just type in this name so we only get 2 people exported. I'm going to hit export, which I've already done, and there is a file right here. And if I import this file so that you guys can see what I exported. Cool. Let's go ahead and import this. Let's not convert. Let's create a new, insert a new sheet, import data. Okay, so we got the jobs one, which we did. If you haven't seen that, you go check that out, how to import, export jobs. But now we have clients, and as you can see, we have both of our clients. It matches exactly here. This client has no information. This client does. Obviously, it looks like a duplicate client issue that this person had. Just for the sake of, we'll just delete that client. I just deleted this one for the sake of simplicity, but when you export your client list and import it, it's just going to import exactly how you had it in your system. So if you want to do some cleanup, you can. So what we're going to do now is go back to Autopilot, hit the import clients button. Import as leads is if they are leads and not customers. Generally, you're importing clients, okay? People you've actually done business with. If you want to import leads, I recommend you separate that into a different CSV file and import them as leads because you can market to leads separately from clients. So they are not leads, all right? We're going to select this file, this one. We only have one client in this file for, obvious reasons, just to show you guys how this works. Gonna hit next, and we're gonna hit Workies. It honestly doesn't matter which one you have, but it just maps it for you automatically, so you don't have to do it individually. But either way, it would work just fine. So we'll just hit Workies though, because it is. And then this is the mapping, right? This is the column in the CSV file. This is the Autopilot field. So you are trying to match, right? Full name, correct. Email, correct. Company name, correct. Address all in one line. So what this means is some companies break it up by address line 2, city, state, zip. Some companies put the address on one line inside of one column. Workies does one column. I think House Call Pro breaks it up into multiple columns. So we are going to do address all in one line. Okay, so it already matched the phone number. And if you want to tag them, this could be helpful. You could say from Workies so that you know that these were imported from Workies, just in case you ever want to do something special with these ones, like you want to do marketing sequences and for some reason you just want to know which clients were imported from Workies, you can do that. It's not a bad idea to know in case you have like 100 clients already that you added to our system and for whatever reason you're importing new clients, or maybe you're importing scraped leads, and you want them to be tagged like scraped leads, whatever you want to do, so you know who's scraped and who's not scraped, whatever. Hit next, and bada boom, bada bang. All right, so finish. Bada boom, bada bang. We have one client. That is how you import clients, okay? Exporting clients, all you do is hit this button. It'll literally just download that CSV file of all your clients. It's that simple. And that's really it. That's all there is to it. Is that simple, guys. Let's keep moving forward. Let's go into invoices. So now we are on invoices. So this is kind of an interesting one because I want you guys to understand how this works. Jobs and invoices are completely separate, and I want to explain how this works and why. Because a lot of people have questions about jobs and invoices and how that works. So what I did to really show you how this works is I moved all of the jobs to tomorrow because I want the dashboard to be completely clear. This is probably the best way for me to explain this, okay? Invoices and jobs are separate. You can invoice a customer and not do a job. However, when you do a job, you should always do the job, create the job, and create an invoice attached to the job. They're like one. They're one together. They're attached. They're identical when you create an invoice from a job. If you update the job items, it updates the invoice items. So it's very important to distinguish between just sending off invoices or doing jobs. You should never just send off invoices if you're doing jobs. The proper way to do it is if you actually go to their house and do work, create a job, and then you can send off an invoice from that job. Let's get one of the jobs. Let's do this one, the one on Venice Boulevard. Job 633 on Venice Boulevard for $450. We want that one on the schedule for today. So I don't know which one of these. Venice Boulevard right here. Okay, so we're gonna move him back to today. So if I go to the dashboard, you'll see bada boom, bada bang. We have one job for $450, and the average job size was $450 because we only had one job. Now, we're gonna go to this job right here. Let's say this customer's like, send me my invoice, right? Very easy. We've already added the job items. We've already collected the payment. We already have the summary. We just need the invoice, right? So all we do is go up here and we hit create invoice. Boom. We are now on the actual invoice. The job is for you internally for your system. That is for you internally to have your data, your information about the job, all of that stuff. That's why they're separated. The job is for the actual like field service technician and the job getting done, and for your system. The client only cares about the invoice. If you just want to kind of see what the invoice looks like, go up here. Let's just hit preview really quick and you'll see your invoice, the PDF that they're going to get, right? Here's the shed removal, $450. Here's their payment, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, and remember we talked about the company color. This is this background. This is the logo. You customize everything, right? Very cool because you can make a badass invoice. I'm going to hit X for now though. So we have their items, we have their payments, we have the summary. We can add attachments like we discussed. If you want attachments to go along with the invoice, you can add them here. When you send them the invoice, they'll get a text message and they can click that link and they can sign. These invoice notes will be public, or they will see. Thank you for your business, blah, blah, right? So we'll just save that. And you can set the due date on the invoice, set it to today. If you want to do net 30, set it 30 days from now. If you want to do net 60, net 90, we'll eventually add it like net 30 to do that math, to do it for you. But just set the invoice date. Very simple. If they want a different address shown, because that happens with commercial properties, they'll want a different address shown. You can show a different address. You can go to the client and add multiple addresses, okay? You can also, if they have a company name and it's called Zapco, right? And we will save that. Let's go back to the invoice and you go to preview. You'll see that it shows the company name as well. Okay, you'll be able to choose if you want the company name or the first and last name or both at the same time by the time you watch this video. That's how you update the address. That's how you edit the client and show the company name. That's how you add photos to the invoice. This is how you preview it. You can download it. You can copy the invoice link and send them the invoice link. And I'll actually just show you what it looks like really quick. They would get a text message with this invoice link. This is what it would look like on their phone. They'd have something like this, and they'd have their invoice, and they'd get a PDF too, and then they could sign, right, with their finger on their phone, right? And then that would be their invoice. You would capture their signature. So I'll just refresh, and boom, you have their signature. But most importantly, you have to send the invoice. And you can do this all from the phone, guys. So you literally just hit send invoice, even though they've already paid. If they haven't paid, like if I were to delete this payment, so on this invoice, it'll say unpaid, and it'll ask for them to leave a tip. And remember, we set in the initial setup 25% as the default. You can customize that however you want. That might be a little too greedy, right? You can, set the default to be 15%. Whatever, it's up to you guys. Then they could pay in partial. They could pay now. It's very powerful. They can even hit this thing up here and download the PDF. But also, when you send off the invoice via email and text, if you choose to send it via both, they'll get an email and a text message with the link and the PDF. They'll get a PDF of the invoice. They'll get a link so they can click the link to sign. It's pretty incredible what you can do with our system. It's pretty powerful. Obviously, you're going to email and text it, but if you just really need the invoice link really quick, you can boom, 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 copy it and send them the link. They'll click it, they can sign, pay, they can just get the link immediately if you're texting with them and you just want to get it to them really fast. I mean, sending an invoice, this will be immediate too. So what am I talking about? If you just do this, it's if you send email and text, it's super fast as well. That is how you send off the invoice. So let's add the payment back. I'm just going to mark it paid with cash. You'll see when I mark the payment and I go back to the original job, if I were to add something that I forgot to add, let's just say we needed to charge them for bed bugs, right? So let's just add that really quick. Okay, so you'll see now they owe us $300. So if I go to the invoice, you'll see it's immediately reflected on the invoice as well. So I just wanted to show you that that's how that it legit is amazing. And then we can add a second payment. We can collect a payment. Remember, you can take their card on file too. So now this invoice and job is in sync. If I go to the job ID, you can actually see that if you were to click here, it doesn't say create invoice anymore. It says view invoice. Now that's how you know if a job and invoice is synced. You can also just go to your jobs list right here. Sorry, if you go to invoices, actually, before we get into this, let's go to our dashboard. So now you'll see we have collected $750. We added the bed bugs, right? One job, $750, yada, yada, yada. Now, what I wanted to show you was invoices separately. One job completed. Pay attention to this. We are now going to create an invoice, and let's just say we forgot to see. In junk removal, it's different, but for other industries, maybe you forgot to bill them for some wood or something. Maybe you need to send them an invoice for something that you're ordering for them, but it doesn't require a job. This is why you create an invoice. So let's just create this invoice, right? And let's say whatever. I'm trying to think of something. We'll just do disassemble item, okay? And to keep it simple, we're going to do $100 for this item, okay? So we're going to add this to the invoice, and we're going to send off the invoice. They're going to pay it, yada, yada, yada. But the point is there's no job, invoice only. So I don't suggest you do this unless there's a reason. And then we're going to add the payment. They paid it, okay, whatever. They probably would have paid through credit card if you sent off the invoice. So we're going to just mark this invoice paid, okay? We're going to save it, and we're going to go back to invoices. And you'll see we now have a $100 invoice paid, but no job ID. It's a standalone invoice. So when you go back to the dashboard, you'll see the sales went up by $100 because you'd invoice them for another $100. Collected payments that should have gone up $100 will be fixed by the time this video is up. This would also say $850. But here's the thing, the average job size, it's still one job, and the average job size is still $750 because you've done one job for $750. So your job size isn't going to change. So point is, if you feel that you forgot to add something to the job, add it to the jobs invoice. Don't go create a standalone invoice. Only do a standalone invoice if you don't want it to be a part of your average job size. If there's just an invoice for a customer that you have to invoice them for something completely separate from the job itself, that's when you'd want to do standalone invoices. Does that make sense? So there is a drastic difference between the two. I recommend only doing invoices attached to jobs. I would not just send off an invoice unless it makes sense. I wanted to show you distinguishing the differences between a job with an invoice and a standalone invoice, okay? So big difference. And that is how invoices work. I think we've covered, I guess we should preview the invoice. That is pretty much most of the invoice stuff. The company color here is how you customize your invoice colors. Here is the terms and condition that I told you about. If they click it, the PDF on their computer, it will load up everything you put in the terms and condition. So that's pretty freaking cool. Your invoice notes go down here, like I showed you earlier, and this is the invoice they would be getting. If you put item descriptions in your price book, it will show the description of the item. These invoices are very customizable. We're going to be doing all kinds of things in the future, but you'll see all of their payment methods. You'll see the amount due, if they owe money or not owe money. So lots of cool stuff, guys. That covers invoices, and you can do most of this from the phone too. All right, guys, now I want to talk about connecting an invoice to an existing job. So this happens when you create an invoice and you forgot to make a job, and now you want to connect it to or something, because a lot of people do this by accident. They just forget or whatever, or just something happens. So let's make an invoice without a job really quick just to demonstrate. So let's make this invoice for Jennifer. Create invoice, and let's just go ahead and save this invoice, right? So now you'll see that Jennifer has an invoice, okay? You'll also see that there is no associated job, okay? But we've done like 3 jobs with her, right? We got an $1,100 one, a $1,200 one, an $825 one. So why don't we just connect, like, let's say this invoice was supposed to be matched to this job. So what you can do is go up here, hit the 3 dots right up here, okay? And hit connect to job. It will literally only show jobs from Jennifer so that you don't have to like search around. And we know that we want to connect it to job number 17 or whatever job. So now if we do that, you'll see that it's going to say, hey, look, there's these items on the job and there's nothing on this invoice. If we had something on the invoice, it would ask you which one's the source of truth. We'll say the job is the source of truth. So we will submit, and now they're linked. And what's really cool is you'll see that it brought over the same job items to the invoice. So now they're in sync. So no matter what you do now, if you change something here or change something on the job, they're in sync forever. It doesn't matter which one you change. So you'll see it's associated to job ID 17 now. So now when we go to this job, we now can actually view the invoice. We don't have to create a new one. And just to show you that like they truly are synced up, like if I add a hot tub to this, right here, and I save, and I go back to this job, you'll see the hot tub. So the invoice is matched up. Same goes, like if I add a payment here, it reflects on the invoice. It doesn't matter which way you do it. They're both aligned. They're both in sync. It is really that simple to sync a job with an invoice if you forgot to. Usually you will be creating the job, and then from the job, you'll create the invoice. But there's times where people create an invoice and then create the job, and they forgot that, you know, you can just do it, create an invoice from a job. Hopefully that's not too complicated. I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, so let's talk about estimates now. So let's go ahead and share my screen again. As you guys can see on my screen, we have estimates over here on the side menu, and we only have one estimate out right now. So let's just start with creating an estimate. And we're going to just use the same lead we've been using, Andrew Zapp. That's me. And we can choose the address we want for this estimate if there's multiple addresses. Estimate notes will be viewable to the customer, so these are public. This is your estimate for Porter job, blah, 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 right? Whatever you want to be in there. We're gonna create the estimate. The estimate is now created, right? So we're on the estimate details. And this is where we can start adding what we're going to bill them for, putting in our notes, getting their signature, and also they can approve or decline, which I'll show you in a minute. So why don't we just go ahead and add an estimate? Why don't we create a custom item this time so you can kind of like see, right? Let's do a hoarder, whatever you would put, right? Hoarder clean out on this job. And we're going to just like, instead, you could break down the estimate however you want, but just for the sake of this example, we're going to say it's a $10,000 hoarder clean out. And we're just going to go and add this item for now. It's going to be $10,000, but I'm going to go to ChatGPT really quick. Okay. And I'm going to just say, give me a description I can use on an estimate about a hoarder clean out. Let's say it's 10 to 15 truckloads, includes has waste, dump fees, gas, taxes. Make it convincing for the line item called hoarder cleanup. Max 8 sentences. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to do for your estimate, right? You know, like I'm just doing this so you guys can see what it would look like. I'm going to edit this, put this in the description. And we're gonna charge $10,500 instead. I changed my mind. So you can add photos if you want to include photos of this estimate. So I'll just add whatever. Let's just add this photo right here. Okay. So we got one photo. We're not going to charge taxes. Maybe if you want to do a discount, you can do a discount. We'll do a senior discount for them. You know, we're trying to sell this estimate, right? So we're going to hook them up a 5% discount. Bada boom. We'll save this. They got a discount. And if you want to charge taxes, you can charge taxes. If you want to charge processing fee, you can charge a processing fee. It's up to you. But now we can preview this estimate. Actually, what I want to do is we're going to send the estimate because I want to show you guys something. So we're going to do both email and text. I want the estimate to go through text. I am going to try to share my screen. So you'll see that we got the estimate text, right? So when the customer gets the text and they click the link, check this out. This is really cool. They'll get this, right? They will see the hoarder clean out. They'll see the notes down there. They'll see the attachments. They can sign, they can approve and decline. Now, if you want them to see the line item, they'll get an email with the PDF, or they can literally just hit right here, print, and then boom, this is the actual PDF. So they can print it. They can also hit the download button. They'll download it to their phone. They have the PDF in their inbox as well. So here's the actual breakdown. And you guys can add way more line items and break it down. You can go like truckloads and hazardous waste and make it a much more detailed estimate. But this just goes to show you how you can actually create and design a very detailed estimate however you want. Let's go back to this and let's just go ahead and say they sign it, save signature, and they approve it. Cool. So now it's been approved and signed. And if they scroll up, it'll say approved. And now let's go back to the browser. So if you go to estimates here, you'll see that it just changed to approved. So now we've had one estimate approved today, right? The signature's right here. It's been approved. And if you go to your dashboard, you will see we have a 1-to-0 win ratio. I'm thinking I'm going to change this to just like a percentage rather than a ratio. So like 100%. So either way, the point is you'll see your win to loss ratio or your percentages of wins. Let's go double check. Let's go into the estimate. So you can see it's approved. Let's just go back into here. You'll see that it's approved here. And you can add more items, add more photos. You have their signature. What's really cool about the estimate is now when the estimate is done, there is one more step. We need to convert or create a job from the estimate. So now watch this. We'll create a job from the estimate. And let's say we're going to start this job tomorrow, and maybe not 8 p.m., right? Let's start at 7 a.m. And maybe this is going to be a very long job. So maybe we do 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Who knows? Maybe you want to do it like that. It's up to you. And you could send the scheduled SMS so they could see, hey, the job has been scheduled. I'm just going to hit submit. It has now taken the contact information, the items, the private notes, the estimate notes. It brings it over here just in case. It brings over all the photos. So if you had a bunch of photos, it would bring all them over here. It shows the estimate it's tied to. And then you could change it as, okay, this was a Facebook ad. We got this from Facebook. Okay, this is going to be a hoarder clean out or whatever, junk removal. And then we'll hit save. When we go to our schedule, we will now see we have a 12-hour hoarder job tomorrow right here. And we should probably actually assign some field text, right? bada boom, bada bang. So now when you go to the schedule, you'll see that we have our employees assigned. That is estimates. Super cool what you can do with these. And eventually we will actually let you schedule estimates on the calendar very soon, within the next month or two. So you can actually have estimates scheduled on the calendar instead of just jobs and events. So you can have jobs, events, and calendars. And eventually we're going to also have like dumpster rentals and pickup and tasks, like pickup tasks, drop off tasks, all that. And let's just go ahead and dive into the next one. Let's talk about payments, guys. Payments are the payments that come through on jobs and invoices. So this is very simple. There's not much to this, but this is just a list of each individual payment that was made on a job/invoice so that you can see, okay, Andrew made a cash payment of. So this is just a list of all your payments, okay? In case you ever need to find that specific payment from that specific customer on that specific invoice. So there's really not much to payments. If you delete a payment from an invoice, it'll disappear from the payments list. That's really all there is to payments, is just kind of seeing all of the individual payments. Not much to that. Let's move on to events. So these are what you can put on your schedule if you need a block off time. So for example, let's say you do not want anybody in your company to book a job from here to here. You can do an event, whatever you're blocking off your calendar for. It doesn't matter. If you're going to a birthday party, you can do that. Blah, blah, blah. If you don't want your employees to see it, you can block it off. But by default, it's visible to everybody in the company so that they know that you're busy, right? So that is how you block off time with events. And you can get as creative as you want with these guys. Like, until we have dumpster rentals, you could put job ID, let's say it's job 6663. Until we have actual like dumpster rentals truly into our system, you could do this as pick up and drop off tasks. And you could put notes. You could put the customer's name, you could put the job name. Let's say it's Andrew Zapp and then it's job, like whatever you need to do in order for this to make sense for you, you can do this as a drop off task. So boom, this is a pickup task, or I guess drop off, right? And then we'll do the same thing. So yeah, we don't have it like super convenient yet. You'd have to do this. You can't select a client. I know but events are not meant for that, but this is a workaround. You can get creative, pick up dumpster, swap out dumpster, whatever you guys want to, So events are meant to help you do everything else that you're not able to do with jobs. And eventually estimates will be showing up on the calendar. Right now, they just live in estimates, and you can send off estimates for approvals and, whether they reject them or approve them. So you can use events however creative you can get with events for now. And then, of course, you can see your list of events over here. You can go into the event and you can edit the details of the event. You'll see events on the mobile phone. You can create events on the mobile phone. I don't know if we have the events list on the mobile app yet, but you can definitely create and edit events on the mobile app and they'll show up on your schedule. However, just so you know, events don't show up as your routes. We only have one because there's only one job for today. We moved everything. We will figure out how we're going to do that. If we're going to do that, it's more so just for your schedule if you want to, add custom events to block off time. Let's talk about employees next. This is like one of the most important features as you grow, is you want your employees to have limited access so they can't go in and delete stuff, but they need to be able to see their jobs for the day. This is what employees are for. So you can create an employee and they'll get an invite link to join. So you'll send Joe at bob.com, whatever his email is, and you'll put his phone number. Make sure it's his real phone number. You'll get a text message with a link to click. And if you choose employee, he becomes an actual employee and has access to Autopilot. If you do this, he'll get his own account, limited. He won't be able to delete stuff. He won't be able to run reports. He won't be able to access the website. He'll only be able to see his jobs, how much money his jobs have made, not the whole company's money. Once he gets an employee account, he'll be able to log in. You want to set his role as technician, not admin, obviously. You would be admin if you're husband and wife and you need to add a second account, you want to add another admin account. Yes, you're going to be marked an employee. You're both employees technically. So you add the admin account, and that's how you'd add another employee admin account. Field tech, yes. If you want to have them assignable to jobs, you'd hit yes. If you hit no, they're going to be like office staff. They won't be able to be assigned to jobs, so you would do no if it's office staff. Tracking location does not work yet, but it will soon. I don't know when that's coming out, but that is on the pipeline this year. If you do a subcontractor, are you sure you want to proceed? Subcontractors do not get a login. They will just receive SMS notifications. Why subcontractors are important is because if they are just a subcontractor that you use every once in a while, you would just want to choose this because they'll get text messages when you assign them a job. They'll get updates when you assign them a job. Cleaning companies do this a lot too, where they have a lot of different cleaners. They just want that subcontractor to get a notification of the job of what time to show up at. Or if the job's canceled, for example, let's say you were to cancel this job, the subcontractors would get a notification that the job was canceled. And they don't need to have their own login. They don't need to have access to the system. You only want to give an employee that is actually working with you all the time. They need to be able to log in and see the schedule for the day. Log in and see the private notes that you've left for them. Subcontractors actually get the private notes too. They'll get it in the text message. But an employee needs access. It makes it easier for your employee to actually run the schedule. So that is employees. And when you actually delete an employee or a subcontractor, they become former, so that if you ever need to reactivate them or you don't want to delete them because you need to see their time clock cards, it's just better to have them as a former employee in case you need some information down the road. Something with labor law comes up and you need to have all the reports, the time clock reports, you still have them. As soon as you make them former, they will not get access anymore once you remove them. So that is how employees and subcontractors work in Autopilot. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is inviting employees. This is so important that you do it this way and make sure your employee does not sign up for Autopilot. Okay, so here's what you want to do. So you want to go to employees, and then what you want to do is create an employee. And you're going to fill all this information out. You're going to put in the accurate information, their real email, their real phone number, because they're going to get a text, okay? Okay, so now you'll see that this employee is pending, okay? And you can always resend the text if you hit this, it'll send an email and a text again if they say they didn't get it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my phone so I can demonstrate how this works. So here we go. Your employee will have gotten this text. Your employer from Jedi Junk Removal has invited you to join their company. Click this link to complete your registration. They must sign up from this link before they do anything with the app. Don't even have them download the app yet. It'll tell them to. So they're going to click this link and you're going to see it pre-populates everything. Make sure they do not change this information. Well, I mean, I guess they can update their phone number, but you should not have got their email or phone number wrong, okay? The only thing they need to do is set a password, hit I agree, and sign up. It will then create an employee account. In our system, it'll then ask them to download the app. That is the process that you want to do for employees, okay? Do not have them download the app and sign up because that will cause problems. They will have created their own company, okay? You do not want them to sign up and create their own company. They need to go through the employee invite system through that text message link, and they'll sign up through that link first. Then they can download the app and log in. So that is how you do the employee invitation process. I hope that helps, and yeah. All right, let's talk about time clock. So time clock is super cool because you can actually clock in and clock out. You as the owner can clock in and clock out too. And I suggest you track your hours of what you're working, because in the report section, you could do some really cool reports of seeing how much money you and your crew are making per hour, how effective you guys are, how much you're making based on how often you're working, especially for your employees for time clock cards. So what I want to show you is how you clock in and how your employees would clock in. Is you literally just hit clock in. See, we're clocked in. If I refresh on the website now, over here, you will see that Andrew Thompson is now clocked in. And if I were to go into Andrew Thompson, we would see all of his clock ins and clock outs, all of his reports, so that you would be able to know how much money that you owe them. But here's where you would go to see how much money you owe. You'd be able to see how many hours they worked. And what's really cool is, let's go back to the phone screen, is you'll see right here, if I click the button next to that that timer, I can see all of my own clock-ins for the week, right? And right now we're clocked in at 11:52 a.m. and we're in progress. We're clocked in. So they can clock out for break, they can clock out for lunch, It makes it very easy for your employees to clock in and clock out. This is great for, especially if they're W-2. By law, you have to give them their 15-minute breaks and their 30-minute lunch to 1 hour lunch, depending on how many hours they're working. As you start scaling, you're going to need these reports. I'm going to go ahead and clock out. And if we go to the time cards in here, you'll see, cool, we had clocked in for 1 minute today, right? So it's also reflected on the website too. And just so you know, if you want to see all of your employees' time cards, you have to do that on the web app. So if I want to see all of my employees' time cards, you'd have to come here. You can't see everybody's time cards on the mobile app. So you'll see our last clock in was Monday, March 16th. And we worked for 1 minute and 19 seconds. So I think that's all we need to go over time clock. You can edit if they messed up, which happens quite frequently, which yes, is very annoying. So if they meant to clock in at 8 a.m., you can fix it for them. They cannot adjust their own time clock cards. You have to. So there you go. We have adjusted the time clock card. So yeah, that's how time clock works. We have covered most of operations. We have a few more things to go over, but we went over jobs. We've gone over clients, employees, invoices, estimates, payments, events, and time clock. We've gone over the overview, the signing up and onboarding. We covered A2P 10 DLC and the initial setup and the differences between web and mobile. We have covered a lot of stuff so far, but we still have to go over quite a few things. Let's talk about the big one, guys. Accepting payments. Accepting payments is very important so that you guys can collect payments through our system if you want to. I have suggested the Clover machine, which the Clover machine is still incredible, especially if you have employees and you want big fat tips. But just because you use the Clover machine doesn't mean you can't use Autopilot should always be the source of truth. I'll explain what I mean by that and the Clover machine, if you use the Clover machine or if you use us, or how to use both. So let's just kind of dive in on how that works. Let's share my screen. So to do payment collection, guys, what you're gonna have to do is go to your settings down here, and we're gonna scroll down to integrations. Stripe is the most popular collecting payment platform, merchant processor for collecting credit card payments through other people's platforms. Like, for example, Jobber, Housecall Pro, Workies all use Stripe. Now, if you already have an existing Stripe, you should be able to connect it. We're going to go through this together, but most likely you're going to create a new account with Stripe. Once you connect the two together, you'll never even know it just happens magically in the background. Your customers won't know that it's Stripe. They'll just think they're getting an invoice from your company for Jedi junk removal or whatever. Let's just go ahead and connect Stripe and go through the process together. It's going to pop up in a new window, and it's going to ask you if you have an existing Stripe account. So you can indeed connect your existing Stripe. For this demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to create a brand new Stripe account. So let's hit submit. So we're going to create our account. I don't want to use the same phone number, so I'm going to use Authenticator. I verified through the Google Authenticator. You guys should just use your cell phone number. I just didn't want to do that. You're going to go through all of this stuff and fill this out. So I really don't want to go through all this again, guys, because I've done this before, and I don't know if this is going to conflict with my existing account, with my main Autopilot account, so I really don't want to mess things up. But you're basically going to go through, prove that you have a business, and it's going to ask for your bank account so that money can go straight into your bank account, and you will get next day deposits after about a week or two of showing them that you're legit. So once you connect Stripe, it'll say connected, and you can actually hit manage Stripe. You'll be able to see all of your actual transactions that you send off to your customers through our platform. You'll see your account through Stripe, so you'll be able to see the balances they owe you, the transactions. You can go configure what payment methods you accept. So if you type in payment methods, you can customize your payment methods. Pretty cool stuff. But you're not going to need to touch that because all of your transactions and invoices will be through here. If they pay through credit card on an invoice, it'll show up and you'll be able to click that transaction. It'll pull it up, all the details on that credit card transaction. So it's really cool. It's all integrated into our system. You do not need to worry about going through the manage Stripe section unless you really want to dig deep and see what everything that's going on in the back end through the merchant account. So this is like your merchant. So when you send off an invoice, we'll delete this payment just so we can send off an invoice. They'll get a text, they'll get an email. I'm just going to copy this link and I'm just going to go to this link so that you can kind of see. They'll see this on their phone, right? They'll see it like this on their little tiny phone, but I'm going to keep it big just because they'll hit pay now, right? If they are on their phone, they will see Apple Pay. They will see Google Pay. They will have bank account. They will literally be able to just type in their card number, and on the phone we'll have tap to pay soon too. So if you're in front of them, you could punch in the credit card, but also tap to pay. So we'll have tap to pay very soon where they just touch the credit card on your phone, boom, it's paid. But this is how they pay. It's that easy. Apple Pay, Google Pay. We'll have Klarna soon too. Klarna for customer financing, and they just pay that quick. They don't even need to put their address in, just their zip code. So it's like, boom, it's really fast. So when that payment comes through, it would show under here payments. It'd say Stripe/credit card so that you would know that they paid with the credit card, and you'd be able to click on it and it would pull up the credit card transaction details on that invoice. Not like their credit card number, but you know what I mean, the details of the transaction. Really cool stuff. And that is accepting payments. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be online booking. So if you have online booking, you're going to want an online booking form like so. And it will load up your booking form and they can book with you. I think I have it turned off though. So this is how you implement or embed the booking form. And we're going to go over all the settings for online booking. There's a lot of settings for it to customize it. So let's just dive into online booking. You can access it from settings, online booking, or just right there. That's why both are highlighted, because technically you're under settings and the online booking form. We're going to view the live demo so that we can just keep going back and forth between the two. Here is the title and description. Your company name and your company logo will show up here. If you hide the header, it literally will hide this entire header. Now, why did I implement that feature? Is because a lot of people like to embed the booking form on their website. What I did to make it more convenient when you're like on a mobile device and you're trying to book, that header was quite annoying. Like if you go to Junk Guys Nashville, you'll see that when you hit book online, it forwards to the whole page. You would want to keep this up here, right? The header. But if you embed it onto your website where it's built into your website, you would want to hide the header so that it doesn't take up too much screen real estate, right? So that is why you have the hide header option. You can change all of your colors, the background color, the table color, the secondary text color, the primary text color, all kinds of stuff that you can customize on the booking form. You could even have it redirect back to your home page if you wanted to, or a different page if you're doing some special tracking. But by default, I would recommend just leaving this blank. You can choose what you want to collect and what is required. So if you want to not ask for too much information to make it easier for them, or if you want everything, like let's say you want, like if they're going to book online, you want everything. That's up to how you want to run your business, right? Default fill text. As an online booking request comes through and goes onto your calendar, you can have it assign you as the default, or your lead employee will automatically be assigned that job immediately. And then if you need to change it, you can always change it. Let's go to a double booking. I always keep yes, because if two customers want the same time, I'd rather call one of the customers and try to be like, oh, I'm sorry, can we move you an hour later? But that's totally up to you. I prefer always having an open calendar. That's just me. If you're like, you get a lot of jobs and it's really important that you do not get double bookings, just put no, okay? Minimum notice time, this is how far out can they book ahead of time. So if you wanna let somebody literally book an hour from now and you're able to show up within an hour, like do that. I think you should. The arrival window for me, I like having a 2-hour arrival window. You might only want 1 hour. Because if they get a text message that says, hey, your job is scheduled at 4, that means you have to show up exactly at 4 p.m. If you want to have good customer service, do an hour window so you're not late, so that you're within that window. In LA, definitely 2 hours, but maybe you only need 1 hour. The job duration is how much time it takes up on your schedule by default. So for me personally, every job is always a 1 hour duration. Even though some jobs are 15 fucking minutes or 30 minutes, I default it to 1 hour because you just never know. And then if the job is longer or shorter, I adjust it. So that's how I do my job duration. Now, this one, job customers booked through the booking form will not block your calendar and they'll appear orange on your schedule until you confirm them. If you have this unchecked, it'll come through and you have to approve it. Me personally, I like it to be auto-confirmed. I want it to just come through and I immediately call the customer. And then if I have to like delete it, I will. I don't want to have to like approve it. This is good if you have a lot of bullshit come through and you want to protect yourself from bullshit coming through. You can do this. However, if you don't think you're going to be like, you got competitors trying to scam you and put bullshit through your booking form, you can keep this like on or off, right? So I like it to just come through. So I'm just going to save. And this is when they could book you. What hours can they book you? If you're closed on Sundays, do that, okay? Lead source. I like to have the lead source set as online booking because this is technically organic. So when we go to like the settings of the job settings, you'll see that we have online booking as organic, because here's what's going to happen is we really truly don't know where they came from when it's an online booking, right? You don't know if they clicked a Google ad and looked you up later. We don't know if it's a referral. Maybe Joe, somebody referred you, but you really don't know unless you ask them after. So what I like to do is online bookings you keep as organic. And then you ask them, and if they truly know where they came from, you can adjust it. Otherwise, I just keep it under organic. It's an organic. I hope that makes sense. But I love that because at least you can start tracking your organic traffic, your organic bookings versus your paid bookings. And it really helps you figure out how good you're doing. Now, the default is going to be the email you signed up with, but if you want to be safe, put the default reply to email, actually put it as your email, put your contact information if you want them to be able to reach you. And these are the settings that you would set. These are your online booking settings, right? We're going to cover payment and online booking items in just a second, but let's go back to the booking form. The colors are kind of gross because I was playing with them. So you would want to adjust these. Like, let's just change this primary color to a darker green because that is hard to read. Okay, so we'll go back and refresh. Cool, much better, right? So now let's choose Sunday and make sure no available time slot. Let's choose tomorrow, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, blah, blah, blah. See, 1 hour blocks. You can do 30-minute blocks if you want. It's really up to you. I'm gonna choose 8 to 9 and I'm gonna hit next. And you'll see that we have our services. I'll get to that in a second. Schedule on-site estimate. Additional details, yada, yada, yada. It wants photos because we forced photos. So I'm going to put a photo in there. And next. Now here's all the information we want to collect from them, right? Because we forced everything. They'll have to fill all this out. Let me just put a silly email address and a random phone number because I don't know if I'm already in my own system. And if they are in the system, it'll search them by their email and phone number and attach it to that existing client. Really cool shit, right? Okay. So now we'll hit schedule, right? Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, so payment due later, no upfront payment. We'll hit next. Boom, I got an email about my booking. The customer got a booking, they'll get a text, they'll get an email. You'll even get a push notification on your platform. So really cool shit. Now let's go back into our system, our schedule. Okay, you'll see Andrew Thompson right there. The job that was just booked. We'll go into it. We'll see Andrew is silly. We'll see the no obligation. We'll see the photo that he attached. We'll see everything the lead source went through. And then it's on you to mark the job type when you see the job. But it's in the system. And honestly, I like the calendar settings to be job by color status. I like that much better. I don't like it by employee colors because to me, gray means it's done, purple means open, and then blues. When you mark it on my way and completed, you'll see the different color statuses. That is pretty cool, right? So let's get back to finishing the online booking settings. So here is how I like to run my online booking items. Now everybody's different. I like to add 2 items: schedule an actual job and schedule an on-site estimate. Here's why I did this at Jedi Junk Removal, is you'll have people who understand that you want to go tell them to book a job. A job sounds scary. So I still wanted them to book it onto my calendar because 90% of the time you're going to close them on site. That is the plan. You're going to sell them. But you want to make it sound not intimidating. So I created this custom schedule an on-site estimate, and I made it sound very not scary. So let's just refresh this and start over. This is going to be embedded in your website. So schedule on-site estimate, free and no obligation. Book it for blah, blah, blah. So they'll know that they're going to get a free on-site, no obligation estimate so that they're more likely to book online with you, right? And this is just what I prefer. And when I ran my business, I also did not require their email. You can get that later. I did not require photos. And if you want to keep it, you probably want a description, right? You probably need them to describe what they have, but this is kind of like what you want to require. It makes it easier for them to not have to do an email. Address is obviously required, but you kind of want their last name, because what if you have a bunch of Andrews or a bunch of Mikes in your system? That kind of gets annoying. So you kind of want to force the last name, okay? Now, required payment up front is important, is if you decide to do this. Let me show you. We're going to add a dumpster. We're going to add the item, and we are going to go to edit the dumpster, and you'll see, let's take off tax. Actually, sure, we'll just keep it on. So we'll do payment up front, but you'll see no payment up front on the other items. What's really cool about this is our booking form. Now you can put dumpster rentals. So like if they were to go to like dumpsters, by default, it's all. There's a price on the dumpster. Maybe they want all of this, right? Maybe they want junk removal too. It'll make them pay for the dumpster up front. So now, I'm not going to go through it, but they would collect the payment right here and they would pay you up front for the dumpster. So you can technically do dumpster rentals with our system. We just don't have dumpster tracking yet. Some people like to add their junk removal prices up front, their cleaning prices, and they need payment up front. So now you can collect payment up front with our system. So it's pretty freaking cool. If you want to create custom items separate from your price book, because you have your entire price book, right? You have everything. We've already done that in the initial setup. I don't add my items from my price book unless it was like dumpsters. You can add from your price book. If you wanted to add all these on, you want people to be able to check out on your junk, and you want that, and you want them to be able to pay up front, you can do that. Me personally, I created custom items specifically for the online booking. That is how I ran my business, okay? Completely up to you. This is flexible as you want, you can do with the online booking form. And then just save. And then to get the embed code is these 3 dots right here. You copy this embed code and you can go put it on WordPress. You can do it on Wix. You can do it on Duda. You can give it to your editor. Like if you look at the code, it's just a simple HTML code. You can change the pixels of how much height, how much width it takes up. Like it's a very simple code that you just paste into an HTML block on Elementor, an HTML, a custom code block. We also have training videos on how to do that too. And you can always just view the live demo, which is what we've been doing, and just refreshing every time we make updates to see how it's looking. So very simple to set up your online booking form. Very, very simple. And that is the online booking form. So as you can see, our system sent out the custom SMS notification to the customer who did an online booking. I want you to think about how cool that is. And then it immediately shows up in your messages. So we're going to go over the messages system now. The messages system is incredible because this is a real phone line. You can text, you can make phone calls. The messaging and phone system is more powerful on the mobile app, funny enough, because it's the phone system, right? We have a really cool phone system, which we'll dive into a little bit later, and I'll probably put a link to the separate phone system video because there's so much you can do with our phone system. So what I really like about this is when you open it up, you'll see all of their information. So you'll see street view, you'll see map view, so you'll actually see the location of, like you would see, is that motherfucking junk removal right there? Oh no, it's a street food. Okay. So we obviously put in a business address, but you would see their house, their map view, where it's located. You would see the upcoming job that you have with them. You see all of their information about this person. And what's really cool is if you're texting with some random person who just like texts you from one of your phone numbers, because you have multiple phone numbers with our system and you have a yard sign number, whatever, you can create a job from that random person texting you. So you would literally, like, if it was just this phone number, right? This random person, this is the missed call text back, really cool shit. So you can literally, like, if you finally decide to work with this person, you could save them as a client, save them as a lead. And then once you save them as a client, you can actually create a job from that person. So you would create a job and it would automatically populate with this client's info. So the messaging system on the web app is so powerful, right? You get to see all their details, the upcoming job. You'll even see previous jobs too. And it just makes it very easy to work within the messaging system. You can attach photos and videos, like, come on, man. That's super cool. You can choose which of your numbers you text from. So like, you'll be able to see if they texted you on one of your yard sign phone numbers, you would see that you're texting from the yard sign number. So if they text that number, the conversation will continue from that phone number, all in a unified box. It doesn't matter how many phone numbers you have. They all go to the same unified inbox, which is what separates us from everybody else and makes call tracking so powerful within our system, is because you're going to get text messages from all these different numbers. You have a number for Facebook, a number for Google Maps, a number for yard signs, a number for your truck. It's very powerful stuff. Like, people don't realize how powerful our system actually is. And you could do messaging and phone system on the phone as well, of course. I think that covers the messaging system. And also, we are one of the only platforms where you could randomly just text a stranger and put in a phone number. Other platforms, they have to be saved as a client first. You can literally just put in any phone number and start texting. Let's go over the phone system. So here's the thing. I've done a very in-depth phone system video. So we're just going to do a highlight here. I'll put a giant thumbnail here with the video title so that you guys can go find that video. And I'll put the link in the video description of the phone system, because that's an hour-long video of how, maybe not an hour long, it's probably like 30 minutes long, but you'll be able to see your call history, guys. You can set up the settings for each phone number. We know all of that, right? You can see all of your phone numbers, configure all of them on how you want them to work. You can, I think, let's listen to this. Let's go into a phone number. The 4 call recording. 6 0 0. You should always have call recording on. So that's what you can do on here. You can't do phone calls yet from the web app, but you will be able to in about a month or so. You'll be able to actually receive and make phone calls from inside our platform, which is going to be really cool. I wanted to just show you what you can do on the web app with the phone system. There's not much, because obviously the phone system is more powerful on the phone itself, and it's really cool what you can do. The caller ID features, being able to move the call box around while you're using our app, which is really cool. There's a lot of features, and like I said, I'm going to put the thumbnail and video title here and a link in the video description so that you guys can go configure and use the phone system to its full potential. So that is the phone system. Let's move on to the marketing tools. So the marketing tools you can only do on the website, and it will always be like that for some time. Eventually we'll put it on the mobile app so you can do all this. But I have videos that I've done on sequences, SMS blast, and email blast. I'm going to put all those links in the video description too, because sequences take some time to set, it doesn't take some time. You just have to create a sequence. Sequences let you literally tag somebody, review, follow up, and it'll send multiple text messages over the course of a week or two. Same with leads. You can tag somebody, lead, follow up, and then it'll send follow up text messages or emails, however you customize it, for a week, a month, 2 months. You can create a sequence for all of your clients that follows up with them for an entire year if you want, with emails and text, okay? Marketing sequence, SMS blast, text all. Like, you can literally text everybody in your system, okay? One blast, coupon offers, review reactivation, discounts, promos, whatever you want to do, you can text your customers in one blast. Same with email. We have an email blast where you can also design the emails that you want sent out and make it look really pretty. So you can put like headings and buttons and images and HTML code and columns and whatever you want to do. And you could create these templates, okay? And then send off an email blast to all of your customers. I will put the video thumbnails and titles here of setting up sequences and text blast and email blast so that you can go watch those videos separately, because those are also its own long video of going through that stuff. But guys, the marketing tools are very, very powerful. That is marketing tools. Let's talk about Google Ads. So let's go to settings. Google Ads, okay? If you connect your Google Ads, you will see down here, it will pull in your ad spend data, your sales earned from ads, and your customer acquisition costs. So I'm not running Google Ads right now, but let's just try to see what happens if we connect to an old account that did run Google Ads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to Google Ads. You'll see that we have all of this permission to get access to your Google Ads. I'm going to connect, and boom, we are connected. We want to fetch Google Ads accounts, okay? Account 1. And then we want to, I don't think it's going to, we want to fetch campaigns for selected account. And then boom, you'll see all of your Google Ads. You selected campaigns that you're actually running Google Ads for your junk removal business or whatever your business is. So let's say it's campaign 1. All right. Then we want to choose the lead source. Guess what the leads? We want to tie the two together. What do you think the lead source is going to be, guys? It's going to be the Google Ads lead source, and we're going to hit save. Okay. Now this updates every night at midnight, and it pulls all of your data at 11:59 p.m. for that day. And then it will update down here on how much you spent, how much money you earn, because if you're marking the jobs, let's go to this job right here. We'll mark this Google Ads. I'm just making an example for the job today. Like we knew, let's just say we know it came from Google Ads. So we now know that this $750 one job is from Google Ads, okay? And then it's gonna do the math down here at 11:59 p.m. It's gonna pull up all of the Google Ads data, and it's gonna know how much money you spent on Google Ads, how much money you're earning from Google Ads, and it's gonna do all of this data for you. Really powerful stuff, guys. I'm super excited to have launched Google Ads. So please, we're gonna do a lot more cool stuff too, besides just like breaking this down for you so you can see if you're making or losing money by tracking your ad spend and how much money you made from ads. So it's very important, and you're gonna get your customer acquisition costs, which is so important. So that is Google Ads integration. All right, let's talk about QuickBooks. Settings. We finally have QuickBooks integration, guys. So what you want to do is you want to go to your settings, integrations in QuickBooks. And of course, I'm already connected. You would just connect, and then this would actually be off. And once you connect, it's going to give you the option to sync all previous invoices, and you could turn that on. I think actually once you toggle, oh, look, there you go. Sync existing data. So if you have previous invoices you want to sync up, you can. If not, you can skip, okay? That is how you sync all your QuickBooks data. It is very easy to connect your QuickBooks. I don't even need to demonstrate that. It'll just connect, you'll toggle that, and it'll start syncing. So moving forward, every job you create within it, and then you create an invoice, it'll send off that invoice to QuickBooks. Very simple to set up. It happens all in the background. You don't even need to worry about it. Zapier. So we are finally on Zapier. In order for Zapier to work, you actually have to go to Zapier.com, and it's not live in the Zapier store yet, but it will be like by the time this video's up probably. What you would do is you would literally just look up. Yeah, so you'll see that we're invite only right now. By the time this video's up, Zapier should be live. So you can like create a zap, create zaps. So when you create your zap, you can select a trigger event. And of course, let's select Autopilot. And then the trigger event can be new client, whether it's a lead or a client. This is the trigger. So whenever a new client is entered into Autopilot, it'll do whatever you want it to do. You can send it off to Google Sheets, you can send it off to Go High Level, and eventually we'll have, like right now we have new client, updated client, delete client. We're gonna have all the jobs, estimates, invoices, but right now we just added the most important one, which is new client, so that when a new client is added, you can do whatever you want with the client. Really cool stuff, like especially for the people who are power users using GHL, really cool stuff. If at any point you guys need help, we offer free onboarding where I help you. And we have tons of training videos. I can take phone calls. We can do live demos, everything to get you guys rocking and rolling. Please check the video description. And if you guys are getting any value from this, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. All right, so now we are on to Review Guard. Review Guard is awesome because it prevents you from getting negative reviews. How that works is they get a link to leave a review, and if they leave a 3-star or lower, it will take them to leave you private feedback. If they click 4 stars or 5 stars, it will redirect them to Google. So let's just dive in and let me show you how to set this up. So what you're gonna wanna do, guys, is you are gonna wanna go to your settings. So my face has been covering this bottom portion, but you can see we have reports, settings, support, and training. So we're just going to go to settings, and then we're going to go to review settings and the minimum stars for review link, right? So this is what will force them to go to Google. So if you are okay with 3 stars and that's like what you want, you're like, okay, you know what? I'll have some 3 stars go. But you know, if you only want 4 stars and higher, what you're going to do is you're going to take your Google review link, which we have under SMS notifications. So let's go grab our review link under SMS notifications. This is our Google review link. Let's go back to settings, review settings. And if I put my review link here and I hit save, you'll see we have this review URL. And I'll demonstrate this in a minute, okay? Now let's go take this review URL and go to back to settings, SMS notifications, and let's go ahead and change the review link to this, okay? So I'm gonna hit save. So in order to test this, because I do want to test this, what we're gonna do is we are going to mark this job open, okay? And we're just gonna move it down here, okay? What we did is we put the review guard link into the completed text message. So if you ever want to send anybody your review link, save this in like your Apple Notes or Android Notes. This will be the review link that you send people, okay? And negative review notifications. So this is where you'll get a notification if somebody leaves you a negative review. You can customize the text, but let's go and just like, you can click view live demo and you can see it right here. But let's just actually see what it looks like on the phone. So what I'm gonna do is to get that completed text message, let's go to the job and mark a job completed. So I will get the new completed text message, right? So look, job, SMS notification sent. So it is now a completed job. I'm gonna go to my phone. Now look, you'll see that we got the, hey, thanks again for letting us take care of your junk today, blah, 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 blah. You can leave a review here. You can see we got this special new text message. So I'm gonna click this and you'll see, how was your experience? So if I click 3 stars and I hit submit, we're sorry to hear that. Thank you for your feedback. You can customize all this. And then when they submit the review, it'll go straight to you. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what happens if we click 4 stars. I'm gonna click 5 stars. Boom. Now, what I'm gonna do by the time you watch this video is when they hit submit, I'm just gonna have it redirect to Google immediately. But you'll see now, once they click 5 stars, it's gonna go straight to Google and then they can leave their Google review. So it prevents them from leaving you a negative review, which is really cool. Now we know the review guard works, which is pretty freaking cool if I have to say so myself. But yeah, this is the text, or so you can say, we're sorry to hear that. Thank you for your feedback / rating, whatever you'd want to say. Pretty cool that you can customize this. And when you get a negative review, it's private feedback that's sent to you via text and sent to you via email. So you know exactly what you did wrong. Rather than to go to your Google page, it goes straight to you. All right, guys, it is now time to go through the settings. So there's a lot of settings and we've covered most of them, but what I'll do is I'm gonna speed run the settings now. So company settings, which we've already kind of gone over, so I'm going to speed run this. This is your company ID. Very important. You will only need this if you ever contact support. We need this from you, okay? This lets us just pull up your account pretty fast. Your company logo shows up on the invoice. Your profile photo, which you can change under profile settings, this is only for internal use for you and for you to see under employees. This is not used anywhere else yet, but eventually when a technician's on the way, your tech photos can show if you wanted to. That will be a feature in the future. A feature in the future. Company name, phone number, company website, this will all show up on your invoice. Your time zone, this is very important. If you are in a different state and you are traveling and you want to book on your calendar and you're still taking phone calls and you're in a different time zone, it's very important that you have your time zone set so that you're booking at the right time zone, even though you're in a different time zone. Company description is not being really used anywhere just yet, but still fill this out because we might use it in the future. Preload dummy data. This is all the junk removal price book items that how I used to price, lead sources and job types. Okay. If you skip that step, you can preload it. If you already preloaded it, you don't need this. The address. This will also show up on your invoice if you want it to. You need to have an address, whether it's your home address or business address. If you don't want to show your home address on the invoice, you can take it off. Your terms of service. This is also showed on the invoice when they click the terms of service on the PDF file. So definitely put something here. Use ChatGPT. Okay, moving on. That was company settings. Profile settings. Your name, your last name, your email, your phone number, your company ID. Obviously, you can't change, but that's your company ID. You can delete your account. You can update your email. You can update your password. Pretty standard for profile settings. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, let's go to online booking settings. Now, we just did an entire video, an entire section dedicated to this. So I'm going to put the timestamp really big right here that you can rewind back to go watch the online booking settings. So we don't need to cover online booking settings again. Invoice settings. We kind of went over this, but I'm going to just go over it again. This is what's going to show up on your invoice. If you want your company name to show up, your company address, your company logo, if you want to collect signatures on invoices, if you want to collect signatures on estimates, and if you want to be able to accept payments, you have to have this toggled on. Cool. And also this will not work unless you're connected to Stripe, which we've covered in the accepting payments section of this video, which I can put that timestamp here. All right, moving on to tip settings. Tip settings is what they'll see when you send them an invoice, or also when you're collecting payment in person, you will also see as you go through the checkout screen in front of the customer. Let me see if my phone is working. I will just demonstrate it for you guys. Let's see, let's go to Joe Bob. Okay, I gotta add an item real quick. Let's just add a hot tub. Okay, so let me demonstrate how this works. I'm going to hit pay. Joe Bob owes $508 after taxes. I'm going to check out and select payment method. So it doesn't matter what option they choose. Stripe is taking credit card in person in front of them. So I'll just show you what it looks like. Now here's the tip screen. You can set your tips. You see how we have 15%, 20%, 25%, and the default selected is 25%. And we have the setting, allow tips. So this is what they'll see when you give them the phone in person. They'll choose the tip. And then if I hit pay, it will then pull up the option to type in their credit card. So you can literally just scan their credit card. Pretty soon we'll have, oh, that's very cool, isn't it? By the time this video comes out, we might even have tap to pay and pay with link. And eventually we're going to have more options too, like Klarna financing and stuff like that. So very easy to punch in their credit card. You don't even need their address. You just credit card, month, expiration, zip. But that is the tip settings so that you can see the tips. So the tip options are pretty cool that you can set what you want the tip options to be. Let's keep moving to tax rates. We kind of covered tax rates. This is kind of standard. You can add your tax if you want to charge sales tax, because some items, like some people might have materials, like you'll probably charge sales tax on if you're a contractor and there's lumber and you want to add a whole bunch of lumber to the invoice and you want to charge sales tax on the lumber, but you don't want to charge sales tax on the services. Some people in some states do charge sales tax on services. Most states do not charge sales tax on services. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You can also add a processing fee, whatever you want. Some people like to charge credit card fees. Like they won't charge the sales tax, but they'll charge a processing fee because they want to get compensated for the credit card fees. I don't think you should do that, but a lot of people do that, and you can do that. So that is tax rates, okay? And just to be clear, in order for a tax rate to work, let me just show you. We're going to go to a quick job. When you add an item, like we'll just do the shed removal, in order for the tax rate to work, you have to make sure that it's taxable. If you choose taxable, taxes will never be applied to it. That's how you can separate lumber, like materials, to be taxed, and then you could have services not be taxed. So if I were to choose yes, right, we'll go down here and I will change it to, let's say we want Los Angeles tax and processing fees. Boom. But if I go back and edit this item over here and hit the pencil and I change it to no, there is now no taxes being charged on that item. And there's a reason you do that. Like I said, some people, when you buy materials at the store, you want to pass on those taxes to the customer, if you're a contractor, for example. So that is tax rates, guys, okay? Let's keep moving along. Let's go to phone settings. We have an entire video on the phone system that I've mentioned quite a few times. I'm going to put the video thumbnail and title here, and you can also click the link to the video in the description down below if you want to go watch the entire phone system video. It's a lot more detailed. This is the default number that your text messages will be sent from. So you want to have a primary phone number that all of your, like, on my way, job completed, job scheduled, all those text messages will be sent from. This will be your main communication number. And the reason why you have a number that's your main communication number is because that's your, like, transactional doing business number. You're going to have separate numbers for marketing. Minimum inbound call duration. This is the amount of seconds you have to be on the phone for it to count as a actual call, to be, like, as far as booking and close rates are calculated. So in order for it to be a real phone call, 10 seconds. So make sure if it's spam, it's scam, it's just a bad phone call, hang up within 10 seconds and it won't be counted towards your booking rate. If your phone number that you register with us shows up as scam likely, do this immediately to clear the number from saying scam likely and make that a good number, okay? So that is your phone settings, all right? Now let's move to phone numbers. This is where you create all your phone numbers. You'll see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phone numbers. So forwarding behavior, real quick, ring an app. That means voice over IP. That means the phone will ring through Autopilot phone app. PSTN, I'm going to make that say call forwarding. That's call forwarding. Will forward directly to any number you want, and it'll ring your phone like normal rather than ringing through Autopilot, okay? So this is where you create your new numbers. If you were to create a new number, you can follow and read all these settings here to creating a phone number. I strongly encourage you to use the setting ring and Autopilot using VoIP. There's way more benefits to using our phone system. Watch the video that I've mentioned countless times to know more about the phone system. And if you click on a phone number, that's how you configure its settings. You can change its voicemail. You can, all that stuff. That is how you configure your phone numbers. You can delete your phone numbers if you don't want that number anymore. Most likely when you use these numbers, you'll have these forever. These will be your marketing numbers forever. Every time you do yard signs or door hangers, you're going to use the same number. That is phone numbers. Moving on, job settings. So your default job duration and your default arrival window. Okay, so this is the default that when you create a job, it's going to be 1 hour, right? So I like let's just try 2 hours, right? So if you were to create a job, you'll see that the default is now from 5 to 7 p.m. So it is going to take 2 hours up on your calendar. I think that's a bit too much. I like 1 hour duration blocks, and then I adjust the job when I'm done. If it took 2 hours, I'll do that. If it took 30 minutes, I'll adjust it. So, like if this took an hour and a half, hour 45, boom, done. You can adjust it after. But that is the job duration. And the arrival window is only when the customers get a text message. I need arrival windows. Arrival windows are when you schedule the internet company to come install internet at your house and they give you a 4-hour window, or anybody to come to your house. They usually give you a window of arrival. We do the same. So if you go to your SMS notifications, you'll see when you schedule a job right here, job scheduled, we will arrive right here. between 9 and 11 a.m. on. Boom. So you can include the arrival window. Sorry, I was using, you scheduled a job on, boom. The default that I have when you sign up is much better than this. I was obviously doing some stuff in here, but you scheduled a job on October 23rd, 24th, but we will arrive. So you want to let your customers know we will arrive between 9 and 11, right? So this just lets them know, yeah, you have a 9 a.m. job, but there's an arrival between 9 and 11. This is a very normal thing in the service industry. You know, in Los Angeles, I absolutely need the windows because you're driving around in horrible traffic. So that is that. Auto invoicing, automatically create an invoice when a job is completed. If you are going to use this feature and you turn it on and you want an invoice for every job, only mark jobs completed on the website, the web app for now, because if you mark it completed on the phone, it won't actually trigger an invoice. So this is only useful on web right now. However, by the time this video comes out, I'll make sure it's working on mobile very soon. Okay, so lead sources, very important. I pre-populated with a bunch of lead sources, but if you are doing, let's say you do radio, you would want to add radio ads, okay? And then this would be paid because it costs you money, okay? Network marketing or whatever would be like organic if you're at like whatever you want to do. So I'm going to add radio ads. So now you would go create a phone number specifically for the radio ad. So when you get phone calls from the radio ad, call us, whatever, you'll know when you're getting phone calls from the radio ad. So this is how you track your leads, and this is how you get accurate data so that you know where to put more money into. Job types. We've already kind of covered this stuff too, but this is how you want to separate your job types. Some people have, like, it's very extreme. Some people have a junk removal company and a landscaping company. So they just have junk removal and landscaping. They want to keep it all in one system and they want to sort it by that so that you can get a breakdown of how much money you made from junk removal and landscaping. If you're only a junk removal company, you might want to do single items, single item removal. You might want to do basements, attics, yard debris, storage units, hoarder cleanouts. You might want to do job types like that, where you can break it down by what type of junk removal job, so that when you pull reports, you know, oh shit, I did this much money in hoarder cleanouts. I did this much money in single items. I did this much money in yard cleanups. And you can break it down that way. I chose to break it down this way because when you first start, you get all kinds of weird things. I like to keep single items separate because those are just annoying and I like to know how much single items we do. But then you get some odd jobs you take in the beginning. You get some moving and labor only. You might even want to do moving separate. And then, like, you might want to do this, labor only. Some people just might need general labor and you offer that, right? So we'll add labor only and we'll make this one moving. We all know moving sucks, right? So, but you take anything in the beginning and then you have some that's junk removal and demo. You have some that's just junk removal. You have some that's just demo. You can even do this. You can go as far as doing like interior demolition, exterior demolition, which I consider gazebos, hot tubs, sheds. Exterior demolition. Cool. So, and then we have delivery pickup, you know, when some just needs something dropped off, and then cleanouts. This is kind of how I like to sort it. When you first get started, you're kind of all over the fucking place, right? And it's nice to know. But as you start to, your business starts to really become only junk removal, you really just start only doing junk removal. Then you could like fine tune your junk removal and add attics and basements and hoarder houses and storage units and whatever you want to do. Because then you could pull a report at the end of the year, and that's why job types are really cool. You can see where you made most of your money. That is job settings. Let's move on to SMS notifications, the most important one, right? We have a lot of text notifications that can go out to your clients. These are all customizable once you're A2P 10DLC approved. So you need to get A2P 10DLC approved. This notifies you whenever you receive a message to your Autopilot phone number. So it notifies you, it texts your personal number, your actual cell phone, that when you get a message on one of your tracking numbers in our system so that you know to open up the Autopilot app. We also send you a push notification, so you're going to get notifications everywhere. This is kind of like to make sure that you don't miss the Autopilot notification system. So very beneficial. You can send custom messages to your subcontractors. They can get text messages if you have subcontractors, which is very important. If you want to assign subcontractors a job, turn these on. Employees, Yes, they'll have access to the app and they should get push notifications too, but we added text message notifications just in case. You don't want your employees to miss something. So not only do they have it in the Autopilot app, but like what if they have the notifications muted? Nobody misses text messages, right? That's why we added text messages for everybody, clients, subcontractors, and employees. All right, email templates, guys. Email templates is pretty self-explanatory. These are the email templates that go out when you send an invoice. This is what goes out when you send estimates. This is the receipt when they make a payment. And this is when they do an online booking. So you can customize all of the email templates that go out. Pretty self-explanatory. You have all the variables here if you want to customize these email templates. We give you some pretty good default ones. This is not the default. I was obviously doing some testing, but you get the idea. If you want to add a personal touch to your emails with your language of the way you talk, you can do that. So that's email templates. Calendar settings. Hide cancel jobs. I like to see cancel jobs. So like, let's cancel a job. Let's cancel this one right here. So it goes red if it's canceled. Cancel job. Why I tell you to cancel if they actually canceled is because you need to see your cancellation rate. You want an accurate cancellation rate throughout the year so that you know how many people actually canceled on you. So you can like make better decisions on how to improve a lower cancellation rate. I strongly encourage you to, if the customer doesn't want you anymore, they call last minute, they cancel, whatever they do, if they don't use you anymore, that's a cancel. So just don't lie to yourself and cancel it. Now, if you hate seeing the cancellations on your calendar, you go to calendar settings, hide cancel jobs, okay? And you'll see that it's gone. I don't like that. So calendar color. The jobs are colored by job status or the employee's custom color. I like job status. If I do the employee color, you don't get like when it's grayed out and it's done, it's completed. You don't get to see the in progress color, the on my way status color, grayed out when you complete it, red when it's canceled. These are employee colors. So if I go to Andrew, the employee, let's go to Andrew and I mark him. Let's make him blue. He is now blue on the calendar, right? So that is his color. So maybe you need this. Maybe this is more important. I like the feeling of jobs being completed. Anyways, we go back to settings, calendar settings. I'm going to go by job status. I like how it gets grayed out when the jobs are done. So that is my personal preference. See, canceled, grayed. And then when you go in progress or on my way, it turns blue. So if you have a lot of, like if you have 2 crews running or 3 crews running, you would see which ones are blue, which are yellow, which are grayed out and finished, what's canceled. So I kind of like that personally. That is calendar settings. Pricebook. We have gone over the Pricebook. We kind of covered this, but I'll cover it again. You have categories and items, okay? If you have a bunch of junk removal things that you sell, such as volumes of truckload, you can have a junk removal category. If you have overage fees or different types of fees or demolition or dumpsters, you can have a category, dumpsters and demolition and overages and fees. That's how I did it. So you can easily create a category. Let's see, what's something new? Is there a new category I could think of? Fees. Let's just say I decide to add cleaning, okay? I'm now going to add cleaning because people want cleaning. I'm not going to do the photos right now, but we now have a cleaning category, right? So now, you know, let's do a standard cleaning, 500 to 1,000 square feet, okay? And then we would put our item description of use ChatGPT. We clean your house up to 1,000 square feet, okay? And the price for this is $250. We don't want it taxable. We don't need payment. Maybe we do want payment up front on this. Who knows? It's up to you. And we'll just hit create item. We have a new cleaning item that will show up on our price book when we're on our phone and creating invoices, creating estimates. Oh, I forgot to add the category. Duh, cleaning. So now you can see it's cleaning. That is the price book. You create categories, you can create items, and that's how you stay organized. I don't need to show you how that, we've already gone through invoices and jobs, but if you were to go, whatever, I'll just do it. Screw it. So if I were to add an item to this invoice, you can see we now have standard cleaning. And we can add that to the invoice. So the price book makes it very convenient for items that you're constantly selling over and over again. But what's really cool is like, let's say you have a standard cleaning, but for whatever reason, you're like, I got to charge $300. You could still select the standard cleaning, adjust the price, and even add to the description. Like as you're doing this on the phone or the website, blah, 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 blah. So you can make an adjustment to an existing Pricebook item on the go. You don't have to always create a custom item. But of course you can create custom items on the go. Like if this is like a completely crazy custom job, right? And you need to put in a crazy custom job description. Contact form settings. This is for the people who don't want an entire online booking process. You don't want them to book a job. Let's say you just want to capture a lead. You can put this embedded on your website. And when they fill it out, they can come in as a client or as a lead, okay? And you could say what you want to collect. So let's say you want the first name, the last name. Let's say you just want all this required, but not the address. You'll show it, but it's not required. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this link. We're going to visit it. So you can embed this contact form onto your website. So when they fill this out and like it'll go into your website, it'll look just like a little contact form. You can customize the colors and all that stuff. So when they fill this out, it will go into your system as a lead and it'll notify you immediately. So it doesn't go in as a job, right? Maybe you don't want it to be a job, but you want to capture their information immediately, then you'll see it and then you could just call them right on the spot. So really cool stuff here. So that is the contact form. You could use both of those in tandem. You can have the contact form on your site for people who just want to contact you, and you can have the book now button on your website, and that would go to the online booking form. So there's clearly a distinction between the two. Like the customers know if I book, it's going to go to the online booking form, but I can also have a contact section if they just want to contact and ask a question before committing to booking. There's no reason you couldn't have both. You should have both. That is the contact form settings. Moving on, let's go to the affiliate settings. This is the coolest part. You set your, let's say, Han Solo. All right. So we're going to set a code. Your code is now Han Solo. All right. So you can't change it. It's permanent. So don't, I'll probably make it so you can edit that in the future, but not right now. So I forgot that it's permanent. So this is now your affiliate code. Okay. If you do want to change it, just contact me down here. Okay. So if you give people your affiliate code and they type it in when they sign up, you will get commission down here. Contact me for more details, but please set up an affiliate code and go promote Autopilot. I'd love that. So that is affiliate settings. We've already gone over the review guard. You can go back to the timestamp over here to go over the review settings / review guard. Autopilot subscription settings. This will show your subscription, which obviously I'm on my demo account. There's none, but you can cancel your subscription, update your payment method. If you want to, cancel your subscription and then you want to delete, and then you can go up to profile settings and delete your account. That is how you cancel your subscription and delete your account. If at any point you guys need help, we offer free onboarding where I help you. And we have tons of training videos. I can take phone calls. We can do live demos, everything to get you guys rocking and rolling. Please check the video description. And if you guys are getting any value from this, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. All right, guys, it is now time to get to the mobile app. So, oh man, if you got this far, you're probably not watching the whole thing, but if you did, damn, you are a trooper. But okay, so what really separates most field management software from everybody else is the mobile app, right? Because having a web app is like important, but your field techs need a mobile app as well to do things out on the field. And that's kind of what separates the shitty software from the good software. Having a good quality mobile app, one that's like works and is responsive. Building mobile apps is very hard. So let's just do the general overview first of the mobile app, just give you a lay of the land. So here we are in the dashboard. It's going to show you estimates that have been approved, money due to you, unread messages, your clock in, clock out button. I'll just go ahead and hit clock in. You can see we're clocked in, and your upcoming jobs. So your jobs in the future. And then on the bottom right, you'll see we have like a floating button, which you can call a fab, also known as a floating action button. So if you click that, you'll see you get all of these options. The top left, you'll see 3 lines. Those 3 lines are usually referred to as a hamburger menu. You can kind of see it looks like a hamburger. It's the top of the bun, the bottom of the bun, in the middle, but that signifies the side menu. So if you tap that, it brings out the side menu. And just so you know, you can scroll on the side menu, there's a lot of options. You have your logout, your app version down there, settings and support, all of your operation items, your communication items, and your main menu items, right? If you just tap over here, that is how you exit the side menu and you're back on this screen. That's honestly how you navigate the app. It's really, and then you just tap whichever screen you want to go to. It's not that complicated. That's why I really do like our app compared to other apps, is it's very easy to use. Yeah, so that's all I want to cover on the app version. Oh, you have the app version. If you tap your username right there, that will take you to profile settings. And then you have the settings, which will take you to all of the settings. And the support, of course, is how you reach us. And yeah, we're going to go over all of these items one by one in just a minute. But that is the general lay of the land. That's how easy it is to use this app, guys. It's really not that hard. So why don't we just go through each screen individually, starting with the dashboard. As you saw, you can clock in and clock out, right? We've been clocked in for 4 minutes now. The button next to the timer brings in your clock in sheets, so you can actually see we were clocked in for 4 hours yesterday, and then we're clocked in right now at 8:39 a.m. We've been clocked in for 4 minutes. So this is how they see their own time clock cards. When you log into the website, you can see all of your employees' time clock cards. Unfortunately, as the administrator, you cannot see all the time clock cards from the mobile app. There's no reason. You just need it. You just got to go to your website. Now you have your approved estimates, amount due from completed jobs, invoice payments overdue, and unread messages. If you tap on it, it'll take you there to approved estimates. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard. If you tap on amount due from completed jobs, it'll take you to that. You'll see it's unpaid. Go back to the dashboard, so on and so on. If you tap on read messages, it'll take you to the unread messages. Same goes with invoice payments overdue. It'll take you to the invoices if there's overdue invoices. All right, upcoming jobs. If you tap on the job, it'll take you to that job. Okay. On most screens, I think all of the screens except for like the schedule calendar views, you can pull down to refresh, like most apps. And this was how you would like refresh the data, so to speak. So like if you ever need a like update or something like that, if you ever feel like anything's out of sync, just go back to the dashboard and pull down to refresh. It'll reload everything in the system. So that's the dashboard. All right, so let's go to analytics. Okay, you'll see that at the drop down, we have today, yesterday, this week, this month, last month, this year, last year. You can scroll in this thing too. So you can actually see high level analytics at a glance without having to run reports. This is like really cool. What separates us is you get to see really cool information right at a glance. Your sales, your jobs completed, your average job size, new clients, new leads, repeat customers, your payments due, collected payments. Shows you repeat customers, which is really cool. It's baked into our system, and just you can see how many repeat customers you're getting, which I love. Your jobs by type. We've done 100% junk removal. Jobs by lead source. Everything's coming from Facebook ads so far. So you can see all this stuff at a quick glance, which is really cool because when you start getting a lot of jobs, you want to see what your average job size is over the course of a month or whatever, how many repeat customers you've gotten. I think that really separates us having this analytics screen. So make sure you definitely take advantage of the analytics screen and use it so you can see how well you're doing. So that's analytics. Let's move to the schedule. Okay, I love our schedule because we are one of the only apps that has week view, which is bizarre. You have your week view here, but if you want to change your views to the standard views that all the other companies have, is list view and day view, right? So this is, we all know that they have, like, let's go to the 15th up there. So you can tap the dates up here. I'm just gonna go to the 15th. So you can see these are all of our jobs. And I have 3 events. I have a drop off, I have a pickup, and a landfill. And then, 3 normal jobs. Red is canceled, gray is finished, and yellow is events, and blue technically means on my way. So we never like change the status of this job. So why don't we just go in there? Let's mark this job completed. Change that to completed. Cool. So now you'll see that job has been completed. Let's check out day view. List view is convenient, but if you actually want to see like your schedule, like hour by hour, you want to use day view. However, I like week view because I remember when I was running Jedi Junk Removal, I had a lot of jobs over the course of like the week. In junk removal, it's always like mostly today you get jobs. It's always same day and tomorrow. You do have jobs scattered throughout the next week, right? So I loved being able to do that. You'll swipe left and right to go through the weeks. You can tap the arrows at the top. Now, my favorite part about this is you can literally tap at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. So I'll just show you. I'll tap at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, kind of where that red line is to show you what time it is. I'm going to just tap to the right of that on 9 a.m. at Wednesday, and you'll see, let me go a little bit lower, it hit 8 a.m., too high, boom, 9 a.m. And you can just tap to create a job. And the same goes for like if we go on to day view, if you want to add a job, like let's go to the 17th, let's go to actually the 18th, let's go to tomorrow, and we want to add a job here at 8 a.m. I can just tap and hold. It'll actually let you add a job right there at 8 a.m. Now, obviously, we have the fab. You can use the fab from anywhere in the app. So if I were to use the fab and hit new job, it'll go to 10 a.m. because right now it is 9 a.m., almost 9 a.m. The time you're seeing on my phone, for whatever reason, whenever you do screen recording, it changes it to 9:41. It's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. I don't know why it does that. It's the weirdest thing. So since it's almost 9 a.m., by default, when you use the fab, it's always going to set the job's default to an hour later. Whether it's an event, a job, an estimate, whatever, it's always going to just do 1 hour from now. That's just kind of the default, because you're going to adjust the time most likely anyways when you hit the fab. So yeah, that is the schedule. Very easy to use. To switch views, it's the top right icon at the very top right. And yeah, you just tap on the calendar to add a job. And on day view, hour by hour day view, you tap and hold just like that, 8 a.m. Oh, and if you're on a different day, let's say you're like on this day view and you're all the way on the 29th of March and you want to get back to today rather than cycle through like with the little arrows at the top, you can tap today at the bottom left. It'll shoot you right back to today. That is the schedule view. Like I said, I love week view. Cool. That is schedule. What we're going to do is we're going to go to map view now, guys. So let's go over map view. And one of my favorite things about map view is if you have 2 routes for the day, like you have 2 crews, one truck going this route, the other truck going this route, you can actually see the routes for both, right? So if you click on this job, you'll see that it's assigned to VK. And if you click on this job, you'll see that it's assigned to AT, Andrew Thompson. These are 2 different employees doing 2 different routes, right? So V's first job is this one, and her second job is this one. Now, by the time this video's out, this will be fixed. It should say each person's route should say 1 and then the second location. And then the first route for Andrew over here, where it says 3, that would say 1. And then his second job would say 2. So they would both say 1 and 2. And then if Andrew had 5 jobs, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that make sense? It's really cool. So if you have multiple trucks, you could route them and see the route for the day so that you would know if the crew is going backwards or not. Like if they're doing the weird thing and you could move the jobs around. So I love our map because we're the only one that shows you your route and you could kind of see where you're going. And especially if you have multiple trucks. And then we're going to go back to today and you'll see that we only have 1 job, in Figueroa Street, all the way downtown. So it only shows that 1 job. And, you could click on here. This UI needs to be updated, but you can call, you can message, you can go to the job details, you can start navigating. So like you can switch to street view to see the location. You can hit navigate and it'll navigate right there for you. Let's just hit go to job and it goes to the job. So you have all the job details. So really cool. And you could also filter by jobs. What's really cool is the other platforms, they don't let you go and see your past routes or see your future routes. So what I really like about our map view as well is you can go to tomorrow or whatever day and see your route for the next day, which I think is really helpful. Because like when I was running my junk removal business, it would have been so nice to see my employees to see their route for tomorrow and be like, okay, I'm going to starting in Santa Monica. Oh, I got to go all the way to Burbank and then I got to come back over here and I got to go over there. It would just be so convenient to see. And we're going to have a lot more features coming, like auto route, fix this. Like you'll be able to click on a cruise route. Like you'll be able to click on that line. You'll be able to say reroute. And it'll find the best route that makes the most sense to go in order. Like we'll have that eventually. But right now it's not important in junk removal. And most companies don't need that unless we're like trash pickup, trash valet. It's a little bit different. Yeah, so I love map view. That is map view. So let's go over jobs. So now we're going to tap jobs. Now, this is a list of your jobs versus seeing it on the schedule, like a calendar. This is going to show all of your jobs in a list from like day 1. You can sort however you want to sort, by job number or the start of the job. So if you want it to be in order of when the jobs actually begin, you would do job start. And you'll see that, okay, March 7th, you'll see that the jobs are now in order, versus sometimes when you create a job, they'll be in different order because you'll create a job that's way in the future. So by job ID number, that's how you sort. You can also filter by show jobs with an amount due if you want. You could do show me only the open jobs. Show me, because you might not want to see all of them. Maybe you just want to see the jobs you have to get to. Maybe you want to see only the canceled ones. Maybe you want to see the ones on my way. But you can do all. Okay, so if you don't want to see like paid jobs, to make it easier for you, you can toggle so that you only see money that's owed to you in the job. So that makes it very convenient. So there's also a search. So if you know the person's name, you could search by the name. It'll show only the names. You can also type in their phone number. It'll search by phone number. And of course, the job ID number, 639. There's probably something related to 639 in there. 634. It's very easy to search your jobs. Let's go into a job now. So let's go into Andrew Zapp. And now you can see everything related to this job. We can hit Street View. It'll be Street View. We can hit Map View. We have all the client details here. We can text the client. We can call the client through the Autopilot phone or with your normal phone. If we go to call with Autopilot, it'll take us there. We can hit this little arrow. It'll let us edit stuff on the client, which is very important, that we can make adjustments with the client. We can add multiple addresses. We all know clients have multiple addresses, especially commercial. So you can have multiple addresses if you just hit that plus button right there. And of course, we can navigate with Google Maps, Apple Maps. I'm a fan of Google Maps. You tap that, it'll just open Google Maps, and boom, you are ready to rock and roll. We can change the schedule. We can add private notes. We can add the items that we're charging them for. And then, of course, we collect payment. We have the summary where we can add discounts. We can charge taxes, or you can make a custom tax called processing fee if you just want to charge processing fees. I'm going to do no tax. And photos and videos, of course. You can add photos and videos, which is really cool. Lead source, you can change your lead source, the job type, you can add job tags, you can add the employees you want on the job. So much you can do. And the three buttons at the top is the add items, is doing the same thing as the plus right here, right? So hitting add items like that does the same thing. Hitting the pay button will be as if you went down to payments and hit the plus button. It'll take you to the checkout process to collect payment. And this is how you collect payment. So let's say this hoarder finally pays the $10,500. We're going to hit the pay button. And let's say we hit checkout. It kind of like walks you through a checkout process. So you can hand this to the customer technically, and they would go through it. You would hit checkout and then select payment method. And then you can do credit card right here with Stripe. You can process credit card right here, and it'll ask for a tip and everything. Even if you do cash, like if they were to pay, let's say they were to do check. Instead of $10,500, they write you a tip and they throw $200 on the check. You can actually log your tip here. So now you're asking, like, obviously with tips on credit cards, you have to, right? It's gonna log the tip because they use their credit card to tip. But the reason why we added the tip screen on any payment method is because if you want to track your tips to see how much money you made on tips throughout the year or throughout the month, it's kind of cool. Then we'll collect the payment. I'll hit pay. And then we could send the customer a receipt. I'm not going to send a receipt right now, but that's how you would do it. You can send via text, email, or text and email. They'd get a payment receipt, which is not the same as an invoice. If you want to send an invoice, we'll get to that later. Let's scroll down and you'll now see, look, there is a payment of a check for $10,700. The base was $10,500 and they added $200 onto the check. So there's $200. So pretty cool that you can track your tips with our system as well. And you'll see that the job is paid, yada, yada, yada. Now, before we leave, I'm going to show you the three-dot menu at the top right. Create invoice, and there's an attached estimate to this job. So there must have been an estimate attached to this job. That's the only reason you see view estimate, because we created a job from the estimate. So that was in the video earlier. So if you go to a different job, for example, let's go to there's no other one that I did that with. You'll see there's no view estimate. There's no attached estimate. So pretty cool. Let's go back to that job. I wanted to show you the three-dot. You can create an invoice. Now we'll talk about invoices and do that once we get to the invoices next. All right, let's move on to clients. Let's go to clients and leads. Really exciting stuff, guys. So once again, you could filter by clients and leads. The difference between clients and leads is leads are potential customers. Clients are people you've done work for. The reason why we distinguish this is because you can do different marketing strategies with clients and different marketing strategies with your leads. So you can filter by clients and leads. You can add a new client. And quick tip, when you're creating a job, it'll create the client for you so you can do it in one go. So if you're booking a job, I suggest just book the job and you'll add the client details as you're creating the job so you don't have to go to the client and then go create a job. It just saves you time. Now we can also search. Let's do Andrew Zapp. Let's look for him. There's Andrew Zapp. And you can pull up all my client details. You can change them, edit them, call, you hit the pencil to edit, you can text, you can call, you can add multiple addresses, you can put client notes. Specifically, you can have client notes like that are not pertain to the job, but pertain to the client. So if there's something about the client that they need to know in general for every job that's booked, you can put in the client notes and then your employees will know to go look at the client notes. And you can just mention that in the job notes, check client, check the client notes. If you want credit card on file, you hit this message button. It'll send them an email or an SMS or an email and SMS, and they can put their credit card on file for you so that you can charge them whenever you need to. The plus button allows you to add the credit card on file. So if you're on the phone with them, you could do it for them. You see their jobs, their invoices, their estimates. You can have photos and videos for the client. If you feel like there's some reason you need to have like special documents, you can even attach PDFs. And of course, you could mark where the client came from. You can also have the lead source for the job, which is what we normally count is the job's lead source, not the client's lead source. But it's good to know if you need to know in general where this client came from. You'll be able to run reports later on where the clients came from. Okay. If you hit the three dots, you can delete. And if you hit the edit, it's the same as hitting the pencil. So like I'll hit that pencil, then I'll go in here and I'll hit edit. So it's the same thing. Also, you'll see that we show the total sales. So that's pretty cool that you can see total sales. You'll see client tags, right? So if you want to add a tag for this client, I'm going to do realtor. And all you have to do is I can tap realtor there or I can hit return. So I'm going to hit return on my keyboard and you'll see the tag has been added. Client SMS setting. Receive SMS means they'll receive marketing messages. They'll receive everything. No marketing SMS means they'll receive normal transactional messages: on my way, job scheduled, job in progress, job completed, and you texting with them back and forth like normal. But they will not receive text message blasts if you do no marketing, okay? Do not disturb means they will receive nothing from you. And mark client do not service. This is just kind of like a flag for you that you don't like this customer. So like if I toggle that, you'll see that it says do not disturb and do not service. So we will go back to, we'll uncheck that. I'll put this back to receive. We don't have a problem with Andrew. So pretty cool stuff. You'll see that the tags showed up and the tags are very useful for marketing and for running reports. So I think we've covered everything in clients. There's a lot. I forgot how much we have. It takes forever. It's a lot of stuff to go through. Let's now go through estimates. Sending out estimates, which we also demonstrated on the website too, on the web app as well. But you can send estimates from your phone. You can do a lot of the stuff, like I said, on the phone that you can do on the website. Here's your estimates. It's kind of the same as a job almost. The only difference is there is no schedule. We are going to have the ability soon to where you can put a schedule on an estimate so that it shows up on your calendar. But as of right now, you just send out an estimate because that's just how it works with you send an estimate to a customer. You'll see that this estimate's been approved. You can, it says view job, but you can usually create a job. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can see it's very similar to a job. You're just sending off your estimate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new estimate. I'm just going to hit the plus at the top right. You'll see that you create the client as you're creating the estimate. And if it was an existing client, let's say it's for Andrew, is that you can choose an existing client just by simply typing in their name. And these notes are notes that the customer will see. Here is your estimate, whatever you want to say. Create estimate. So now we have an estimate. We can start adding items and we can, let's just say we're going to do a hot tub removal. Let's just make this quick, right? No taxes on this. Let's submit. So this is an estimate for a hot tub removal. Okay. It's that simple. You can add your photos and videos if you want the customer to see the photos that you took for the estimate. This is exactly how you would do it. You just add your photos. So let's just take a photo real quick. All right, so now we have our estimate and it's done, right? The only thing left to do is mark it sent. So now what you would do is you'd hit the 3 dots at the top and you'd hit send estimate. And it will literally text them a link and email them if you choose both. You can do one or the other, it's up to you, or both. And you just hit submit and boom, the estimate has been sent. What I'll do is I'll just show you what it looks like. Check it out. We got the text message here. I'm gonna click the link. So I'm the customer who just received the estimate. I literally got the estimate that fast, right? Now, you're probably saying like, oh, what about the more detailed estimate PDF? They got an email with the PDF. So you'll see that they got this estimate, and if they want it, the PDF's in their email, but they can also hit right here, go download or print. So just to show you really fast, I'm gonna hit print, right? And they'll actually get the PDF immediately right here. Boom. So here is the PDF. I hit print so they can hit the download button so it goes onto their phone. And it's also in their email box. So here's their estimate, right? Bada boom, estimate. And these estimates are fully customizable, guys. And all they have to do is sign right here. And signatures are optional. You don't have to do this. Save signature and approve. Boom, done. So now we'll go back to the app and I'm just gonna pull down to refresh. So like if I just go here and you'll see at the top, estimate 47 has been approved. That is how estimates work. Now that they've approved it, all we got to do is hit the 3 dots and go create job from estimate. And that will throw it onto the calendar and we'll do the actual job. And it'll bring over all of the client's details. Just to demonstrate this, guys, I'm going to go through this process. So look, client, address, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just choose, it was a Craigslist. It is going to be exterior demolition. And I'm just going to hit create job so we can go through this together from an estimate. Create job. So now the job has been created. If we scroll down, you'll see that it brought over the items from the estimate. So you don't have to do any of that. And we're ready to rock and roll. So let's go to the schedule. And there it is, 11 a.m. This job right here. It shows up on our calendar because that's what we scheduled it for. And obviously you could have scheduled it anytime you wanted. I didn't change the scheduled time. So that is how you create a job from an estimate. And that is estimates, guys. Very powerful stuff. And it's only going to get more and more powerful. All right, guys, let's go to invoices. As we discussed back in invoices on the website portion of going through this, invoices can be standalone by themselves or they can be attached to a job. I always encourage to only generate invoices from jobs, okay? And if an invoice needs to be standalone, there must be a reason for it. Maybe you forgot to bill them for lumber or something. You can just add it to the existing job that you're working on and update the job, which will update that invoice attached to the job. But there might be reasons you want to do a standalone invoice that is not pertained to a job. Maybe you don't want it to affect your average job size and you just need to invoice a customer for something that's unrelated. You can do that. What I want to demonstrate first is going to a job, okay? We have this new job we created, this $450 hot tub, okay? What you want to do is create an invoice from this job. So I'm gonna click the 3 dots at the top right, create invoice. This invoice is now tied to this job permanently, and they will be in sync forever. By the way, the invoice notes are public for the invoice the customer to see. The due date, if you want net 30, just choose 30 days from now. If you want net 60, so on and so on. I'm just gonna choose due today, and I'm going to hit create invoice. So here we are on the invoice. And this is what we see, but we need to send it off to the customer. So you'll see that it says the status is unsent, but you'll see that it brought over the same items. If I were to change the items here, I'm just going to demonstrate it so you can understand fully. Let's say that you decided this customer had some extra work to do, right? So we'll for demonstration purposes, let's just say there was some hazmat that we had to deal with. And I have this in my price book already, overages, hazardous waste. So I'm going to just tap hazmat. I'm just going to add that to the invoice, okay? So now we've added hazardous waste to this invoice, but watch, if I go back to the job, I gotta refresh. Okay, so remember the trick that I told you? Sometimes you need to go back to the dashboard or any of these screens and just pull down to refresh. And then we'll go back in. Let's go to the job. Okay, so now you'll see that the overages, they're in sync. So if I click the three dots and go back to the invoice and job is always in sync. So it doesn't matter if you add it to the job or add it to the invoice. Once you've created the invoice, they are together forever. That's a really cool feature. So like if you collect a payment on the job, the payment is also on the invoice. It'll reflect on the invoice. The job is internally for you and your field technician. The invoice is for the customer. So just remember that. That's kind of an important to distinguish so that you understand, like, jobs are internally for you. So private notes, job photos, everything pertaining to the job will always be for you and your field techs. Everything for the invoice will be for the customer. So the invoice notes, so on and so on. So now we're on this invoice. We can leave notes if we want. We can add photos and videos separate from the job photos and videos. Because like maybe you have 100 photos you need to take for your inventory, your safety on the job. But you only want the customer to see a couple of the before photos and the after photo, the final, right? So you'd only have 2 or 3 photos on the invoice. That's what that's for. Then we just hit the 3 dots at the top and we send the invoice. If you want to preview the invoice, you can download it. So let's just download. Okay, so I went to my files and here is the downloaded invoice. So you can preview it, what it's gonna look like, what they get, right? So you can see the demo hot tub, the overages, and these are all customizable in the Pricebook too, or you can create custom items as you're creating the invoice. It's up to you. I think you should set up your Pricebook before you do anything, and you'll see everything. Right? So tax 13%, maybe you want to go, even though these are non-taxable items, if you want to fix that, let's go to taxes and we'll do the whole like not charge them tax and give them a discount. Boom. So now when you generate the invoice, they'll see a no tax discount. If you look, it now says taxes 0%. So that is how you look at the invoice. Let's go back to here. So now once you approve the invoice, you don't even need to preview the invoice. Like if you just add the items and you know the items are correct, just send off the invoice. So you'd hit the 3 dots, you hit send invoice, and you can send via text and email or just text and email. If you do via text, it's very convenient because they'll get a link that they can click. So I'll just hit send. Okay, you'll see that we just got a text for the invoice. So if I click this, you'll see that it brings up the invoice. It shows unpaid. They have this 3 dots where they can download the invoice, but they also got an email of the PDF. Don't worry, guys. They got the actual invoice PDF too in their email box. They'll see all the items that they're being billed for right here. They'll see the summary. They'll see if there's taxes or discounts that you added. If you want to collect signature, I have it on. You can collect signature, save signature, boom. And of course they can pay and leave a tip. So it's really cool that they can like leave a tip on the invoice and you can customize the tip options. They can pay the invoice. Once they pay the invoice, it would literally be marked paid up here immediately. That is how invoices work. Very powerful stuff in here, guys. Of course, you can search by invoice number, guys. You can search by the name. You can search maybe even the phone number too. Yeah, you can do the person's phone number. You can do the invoice number, 2025 125. So you can do the invoice number. You could filter by unsent, unpaid, partially paid, paid, and overdue. So you have a lot of flexibility with the invoices in here. That's invoices, guys. Lots of cool stuff in there. All right, guys, now we're going to talk about employees. There's 2 types of employees that you can have. There's employees and there's subcontractors. Subcontractors do not get access to the app. They just get text messages on when you attach them to jobs, remove them from jobs, update jobs, so that your subcontractors are aware of jobs they need to do. So these are people that you do want to assign jobs and you want them to get notified, but you don't need them to have access to your system, right? They don't need to be able to log in and have an account. If you plan on subcontracting, like you might have 10 cleaners, you might have 10 other companies that help you do things. And if you just want to be able to attach contractors so that they get notified that you need help on a job, add them as a subcontractor. However, if you want an employee to have access to the system because they actually work for you and they need to see their schedule for the day and be able to, modify things like complete the job, send off invoices for you, whatever, you would want to hit the plus button and you would create an employee, and type would be employee, not subcontractor. Admin permissions, no. They can't delete, and they would only see their numbers. And assignable to jobs, yes. The only reason you would choose no is if it was an office staff account. You don't want office staff to be able to be, you want them to be employees and have access to the system, but you don't want them to be able to go out and do jobs. Admin permissions, yes. So I get this question a lot with husband and wives, they're like, but I want another owner account. You just add them as an admin. They'll have the same privileges as you. And yeah, it's that simple. They will get a text message. So make sure you put the phone number. I believe they get an email as well, but they get a text with a text message with the link they need to click. They'll go through that. Make sure they sign up through the link, not create an account and download the software, because that will mess everything up. They need to sign up through the link. That's really it for employees. Now, when you send them off an invite, they'll have something that says pending. It's similar to this. I'm not going to do it right now. If they don't get the text or they don't get the email, there'll be a button that says resend. It'll resend that text. As you can see, these are employees we fired. We deleted out of the system. You could always re-invite employees. That happens sometimes where an employee comes back. That's why we have the re-invite button, so that old employees can come back into the system. And yeah, that is employees. I'm not going to actually sign up an employee right now, but that is how employees work. Let's now go to messages. So you'll see that Andrew Thompson, it says employees because he's an employee account. My phone number is tied as an employee in here, so it's showing that it's an employee. So if you're ever texting with one of your actual employees through this system, it'll show that they're an employee. So it's pretty cool. It'll show all of your text messages. All of the automated text messages that go out too are in a different color, so you can distinguish between normal. I'm going to show you, hey, what's up? Right? I'm just going to text, hey, what's up? So normal text messages look like that. And just to make this, I'm going to respond back. Hey, dude, how are you? I'll even attach a photo. As you can see, I'm going to show you how the messaging system works with Autopilot. So when customers are texting any of your tracking numbers, it doesn't matter if you have 100 tracking numbers or whatever, you'll get all of the message in our unified inbox. It's really cool. So I'm going to go back to Autopilot and you'll see it already came through. I didn't even do anything, image or video. So if I click this, you'll see, hey, dude, how are you? And then I can actually see the photo, and it came through crystal clear. All right. So pretty cool. That's what normal messages look like. And you can see that these are how automated messages. They're in this little blue, so you can tell the difference. It's pretty cool. And this is going to get this messaging system is going to get so badass soon, guys. It's going to start showing your phone calls and the voicemails and missed calls. It's going to be really cool soon. You can also tap on the client and it will show you the jobs that you've done. It'll show you the customer notes. If you left any, it'll show you their information. You can also create a job from within here from that client. If that client says, I want to book a job, you can create a job. You can also call them through your phone or through the Autopilot phone system. So really cool stuff within our messaging system. Very powerful messaging system. And another thing that separates us is you can actually text random numbers. You'll notice with other platforms, you have to save them as a client first before you can actually text them. We let you just randomly text a number. So you can just text from our platform. And that is the messaging system, guys. Really cool stuff in here. You can always pull down to refresh if you feel like you don't have updated messages, but it should be real time, okay? Phone system. Now, I am not going to go over the phone system because I'm going to put a thumbnail here with the entire walkthrough of the phone system, and I'll also include in the video description because the phone system, there's a lot to the phone system. I guess I'll just do a super quick. Here's your recent calls. Here's your voicemails. The symbol at the bottom right is your dial pad. You can call from any of your phone numbers. Like if you have 20 tracking numbers, you'll always have your default set to your main line, your primary number. You can search for people that you want to call. That's in your system. So if we wanted to call Andrew Zapp, bada boom, I'll click it. And then I can literally hit call and you can call within our system. There's a lot of benefits to using our phone system, and you're gonna want to go watch that video because it has call recording, custom voicemails, missed call text back, no answer call forwarding, just a few of the features, right? Very powerful stuff of why you'd want to use our phone system and not your personal phone. So go watch that video. There's a lot on the phone system. Moving on to settings. I'm not going to go over all the settings again. Most of the settings you can do on the website. So you're not going to be able to do all of the settings that you would be able to do on the website. So go the timestamp here to go watch all of the settings that you can configure. You can configure way more settings on the website And these are the settings that you can see. There is one setting that you cannot do on the website that you can do on the phone. I know it's weird, but under phone settings, you can record your voicemails, right? So when you set custom voicemails for your tracking numbers, all of your phone numbers, you're going to record the voicemail here, okay? And then you can attach those voicemails to the phone numbers. And you'll even see, like, when you make a voicemail, assign it to all numbers. So if you had 100 tracking numbers, generally I had 35 tracking numbers, right? Like 30, between 30, it was like 32 was the exact number. You want it to have the same greeting and the same voicemail. So you would just literally hit assign to all 32 numbers, right? So that is the settings. You can just go through these and see what settings, but if you want a breakdown of the settings, go to that timestamp and watch all of the settings. There's a lot of settings. Alrighty. Now, most importantly, the most important part is customer service, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to hit support, and hitting this button will open up a website so that you can start a live chat. Now, the problem that most of you guys will realize is when you start this live chat with me, you have to come back and check. Unfortunately, it's a website. It's not within our app yet. It will be soon, like a live chat within the app. You need to make sure to come back to this. You will probably get an email of like intercom messages, but unfortunately, this is the only thing. If you want it to feel more real time, you can talk to me on the website. The live chat is on the website as well. So just keep this tab open and, just check it so you can respond to me. But yeah, eventually we'll have the support working inside of the app. Data support. I think we've covered everything. I hope we've covered everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Why don't I clock out really quick? It was an hour and 11 minutes I was clocked in since we've been starting this. So if you guys have any questions, comment down below. If you guys got any value from this, you like this, please subscribe. And yeah, let's move on to reports. Okay, I'm going to kind of speed run the reports too, because you guys can just mess with the reports on your own. But I will show you the reports, and we're always making new reports. And if you have suggestions, send us your ideas for reports. But let's go to reports. And you'll see we have lead source reports. You can see where your leads came from, your repeat customers, how often they repeat, how much money you're making, who's your highest customer, highest paying customer, time clock reports, tech reports. So we show revenue per hour. Like, we show you a lot of information on techs, right? But just to keep this simple, let's just check out the sales report, and you can see exactly how much sales you've done, how many jobs you've done, the amount paid, amount due, all this stuff, sales per day, everything you need to know you can do in reports. And what's really cool is tags. If you were to tag which truck they took out, you can be like, okay, this is truck one. So you can just see how much truck one made. It's up to you how you want to do this. So that's why tags are so powerful, is if you tag the jobs how you want them tagged, you can break it down by, okay, look at that. We made $2,000 from truck one. We made $50,000 from demolition or jobs with skid steers. But that's another thing where job types come in. Why job types are important is because you can see how much money and how many jobs you've done by job type. That is why job type are important. Okay? You have your lead source, you have your call reports. You can see which ones you're getting the most phone calls on. It looks like we've had 3 calls, 55 seconds today. Time clock reports, so you can get reports for specific employees. Repeat customer report is super cool. You'll love this one because we track repeat customers. Now, I don't have any repeat customers right now, but you're going to love this. That is reports. Definitely dive in there yourself, guys, when you start using the software and start, running the reports. And yeah, we show some awesome stuff. The last few items on the menu, guys, which is support and training. If you guys click down here, let me just move this up. You'll see that we have support. So you can always book a call with me. Just click it. It'll take you to my calendar. You can book a call. This live chat is the same as just clicking this and sending a message. This is a live chat. So you can talk to us live. I'm not always going to reply within a minute or so, but I will reply fast. We're adding more support agents so that you can get immediate 24/7 support. So it's within minutes, within seconds. Always contact me here. But if you guys want to book an actual call with me, use this right here. Training will bring you to this blog where I'm always adding new videos, okay? I will always update the newest videos here as I add them or feel like there's an important video that I need to add. So definitely check that out. But if you guys watch this entire video, you should definitely be professionals at Autopilot by now. You should definitely know Autopilot to it's like max potential now for the most part. There might be a few things I forgot, but guys, hope you enjoyed the video. This is a very long video. It was about 4 hours of filming by the time we cut everything together. Maybe this will be like a 3-hour video, I don't know. But I will have all the timestamps in the video description so you can skip to what's important to you guys. And as always, I leave you guys with this. Success is often covered in dirt, but so was gold at one point. Toodles! Whoosh. This product, I know I can truly turn into a billion-dollar company. The benefits outweigh the cost. And make sure that we have the best software in the world. My software, Autopilot, is finally here. I truly believe we are going to be the best platform. This will be the software of choice in the home service industry.